Continue.
Leave meeting.
Leave meeting. He's out.
Well, it says recording in process for everyone else, and it says continue or leave meeting. Your two choices.
You have two choices. But so that was my day. How are you guys' weekend going? Chuck, you doing all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. Did you? How did the tournament go?
No, it went like shit.
Oh.
And I drove 8 hours in 2 days or 3 days, I guess.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm kind of tired. I drove 4 hours one way to suck really, really bad.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, it happens.
Gordon, did you have a good weekend?
Yeah, it was all right. Yeah, so. No worries. Looking forward to tonight. To now.
How about you, Mike? Oh, caught him looking the different direction.
He's on mute.
Sorry about that.
I'm doing all right.
Yeah. Anything interesting happen to you this weekend?
Not really. Which I guess is a good thing, huh?
I guess, yeah. So everybody's had either a medium to a crappy weekend. So this is great. I'm sure tonight's going to go real well.
Well, on the plus side, I went to some Mexican restaurant in San Antonio that I can't pronounce the name of, and got some dish that had shrimp in it that I can't pronounce the name of, and it was incredible.
Yeah, well, that's good.
And I could share what that is with you if I could pronounce any of that stuff.
One time, Don took me out for cactus, which turned out to be pretty good at some place that he knew.
I made him try it before I told him what it was.
No, I'm not that finicky about that kind of stuff. I mean,
so Les, are you the kind of guy that falls for here, eat this, and don't ask?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay.
It depends.
I was eating it, so it wasn't like I was trapping him or anything.
Okay, Don, that really doesn't.
Yeah, that doesn't help with the trustworthiness of it at all.
But it was pretty good, I have to say. I'd never eaten cactus before, but it was pretty good. Now, generally speaking, depending, I'm not a huge fan of certain kinds of cephalopods, but beyond that, I'm usually pretty easy. I can take or leave lobster, crab. I go back and forth on. I'm not a big fan of oysters, although I do like deep fried oysters, which I guess is if you deep fry it, it's usually good. You could probably deep fry a shoe leather and probably taste pretty good to me. So
I'm pretty sure they do that at the Texas State Fair.
Do they? A little shoe leather.
They deep fry Snickers.
Oh, that doesn't sound too bad. I had a deep fried oyster poor boy in DC, which I really liked, and but I am not a raw oyster guy. So but most stuff I'll eat. I don't know. Do you guys have stuff that you hate? Is there something that you simply will not cross the line?
Green peppers.
Green peppers, of all the weirdo things to have a problem.
Those are evil.
I don't care for Fritos.
Do they do something to you?
They're evil.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure Smite Evil works on them. They're not bad.
All right. I'm pretty sure Smite Evil works on green peppers. Okay.
And Brussels sprouts. It's got to work on Brussels sprouts.
I'm not a fan of Brussels sprouts, but I have to give Jennifer and Gordon credit. We had dinner over at their house one time, and Jennifer and Gordon made these roasted. Was it roasted Brussels sprouts that you guys made?
Not sure. I've done a few things with Brussels sprouts.
And I got to say, it wasn't too bad. It was pretty good.
I hated them until I tried them at the Beast. The Beast, they deep fry them, put pork belly in them. You really can't go wrong with that. You do that too, and it pretty much was going to taste.
Say deep fry shoe leather and put bacon with it.
Bacon wrapped and deep fried. That just fixes everything.
That's pretty much, yeah. So I have to tell this little story before we get playing. I'm doing Pathfinder with my family, which I've got. You've seen the twins in here. Those who are local know that I've got a 19-year-old too. And my wife just tolerates, but she goes along because it's a family thing and we're all doing it. Just for grins, just to mix things up a little bit. I had them meet Ilindar and Bardo when they're on their way to this adventure path.
Oh, nice.
So they had the chance to kill them because they were much higher level than the 0 level, ones that were traveling up there. I just kind of thought this would be kind of Matt must be in here. I'm hearing myself echo now. But no,
Okay, Matt, you're feeding back a little bit.
it went away.
Oh, it's done now. Okay.
So I expected this to be just kind of a, kind of cool kind of thing. Oh my gosh, especially my little girl.
Mm-hmm.
For the next 3 days, that's all she could talk about. I had to make up so many details about Bardo that I didn't know, because she wanted to know the entire history of these characters, why they were best friends, what happened, what they were like when they were kids, and she just
What they were like when they were kids.
The kids just absolutely loved this, and they talked about this for like a week straight about how they met Dad's character and how cool it was. And I was like,
that's awesome.
Wow, I didn't expect that at all. So just so you guys know, you guys don't copyright your own characters. I'm going to start plagiarizing and just what I don't know, start making up about all the characters. But like I said, I just wanted to share that with you because I really just thought this was kind of okay, that's why that guy had that weird name. And, that's why you knew about them. But they just ate that stuff up so much.
Gato is not evil.
Oh, he's going to be evil in my telling of it.
That's right.
Wait till they meet Flashheart.
And
just like cigarettes, you got to hook them while they're young, Mike.
Yeah.
When Bardos was young, he was a toaster.
Yeah.
I'll send you Flash's backstory so you can.
Okay, no, I appreciate that because I'm definitely using as much of a reaction as I got from this. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm definitely using this. Well, it worked out that Gordon's and my backstories, intertwined anyway. But we've been to Gordon's house, and my son thinks Gordon looks like Robert Downey Jr. because he always said, "Oh, we going to the guy who looks like Iron Man?" I'm like, yes, we're going to his house.
Well, next time I'll have an Iron Man costume that I can put on for.
That would be hilarious.
That would be
Next time you
perfect.
come out for one of those.
Just leave it sitting out on the porch where he sees it, and then I'll hide it. So
But
we read these bios November of 2017. That was so long ago.
Yeah. But like I said, I just wanted to share that with you just because, you're gamers like me, so I thought you'd get a kick out of it.
Yeah, that's cool that your kids are getting into it.
So they dug it. What kind of adventure did you run them through?
They're actually doing Kingmaker.
Really?
Just because it's a very sandboxy, it's not a lot of story. It's really just sandbox, kill bad things, get level up, and continue.
Well, it sounds like your daughter wants the flavor text.
She's also my most ruthless. She's playing just a little third level elven archer, and oh my gosh, she is the most bloodthirsty thing ever. Until I say something's young. There was a wolf that got injured by a minotaur, and she was ready to shoot the wolf just on sight without anything until she saw it was like actually been attacked by something else. And then she goes, "Oh, can we save it?" I was like, "Okay, you're ready to like put this thing down, and now you're fighting because Yeah, she's a handful, but yeah.
Tell her it's complete history while she riddles it with arrows.
everybody I play with, they always want to kill everything. It's like, you don't have to kill this. We could do something else.
Yep.
As a DM, sometimes I plant information providing NPCs throughout the thing that occasionally get murdered. So
and then we kill them. Yes.
Yeah. And then you guys kill them.
Les, do you remember that meme I sent you about going through the guy's pockets?
Oh yeah.
So terrible. It's like you come across a guy you think you can bring in, you kill him, and then you go through his pockets, doesn't have any coins, but there's a little note with a crayon note in there. It says, "Have a good day at work, Daddy."
Wow.
So dark.
All right. So last time we had some interesting things happen. One, you guys made your way upriver on the island of Colyphyr, secretly heading towards the mine just to get into the Nihydrium mines and wreak your own special brand of havoc. You guys came across a boat that had been run aground that seemed to have some undead bodaks that were sort of kind of meandering around the deck, sort of looking like they were aping or remembering or something like that, sort of sort of sailor kind of stuff, like they were the crew and they were sort of going through this kind of thing. You guys set up and began launching arrows, and were able to take out several of the Bodaks from range. But another guy, a different guy, a guy with a big guy with a big halberd, snuck up to you, tried to curse you, and then zapped himself back to the boat. You couldn't see where he went, but you did see that the Bodaks had learned their lesson after 3 or 4 of them had gotten killed, and were now hiding behind the boathouse. In order to basically bring the fight to them, Storm picked up Fletcher, flew in, and air calved him down onto the bow of the ship, which is atop, sort of up on top of this like rock formation, sort of set inside there. And that's where we stopped last time. So from what I have is that Lothar and Farina have bull strength on them from their archery attacks, and Fletcher has energy resistance on him. Was there a specified energy that you guys did? I think cold, or does that not specify? Energy resistance is just general.
No, it specifies.
Farina didn't need the bull strength because Farina turned it down because she has it on her own. So somebody else would have got. Wasn't that from you, Bardos? Who was that gave us the bull strength?
Yeah, I think I did mass, so I gave it to anybody that wanted it.
Yeah, I had bull strength also. Gato did.
Yeah, me too.
Not that he'll use it, but
Oh, well, Gato was shooting as well, right? I mean, as I recall correctly, it was Farina and Lothar and Gato were essentially peppering these Bodaks with arrows from like 300 feet away, and they just couldn't close the distance. So finally, after they're not super smart, so they kind of like screamed at you and that kind of thing, and then finally sought out some cover when they realized that they weren't going to be able to cover the distance in time to get at you. Whereas the guy with the halberd approached invisibly, due in large part to my forgetting that Bardos is able to see invisibility pretty much all the time.
yeah.
So I was able to, forget that, and then it really worked. That approach worked, but he didn't get off the curse. So and he got the heck out of Dodge pretty quickly. So now you find yourselves sort of at a standoff. So most of the party is like 300 feet away, whereas Fletcher and Storm have now landed on the boat, and you can see that there's an open hold door in front of you, and then along the side you can see that there are some Bodaks over there sort of hiding around the thing, whereas there is a window here that has sort of been it's open. There's like a window there. It's glass. You normally would see through it, but the inside seems to be covered with some sort of frost or something, so it's opaque. You can't see inside.
Isn't there something in the hold that we were getting a sense of? Something
Yes.
nasty?
Yes.
I think you've given us some clues. As to
Some
what's
sort
in
of
the
boss
hold.
thing in the hold.
Well, the one Bodak that you shot fell in there.
I don't remember what the clue was, but you gave us a clue that there's nothing pretty in the hole.
You guys haven't had a chance to look in there yet. Other than that there's at least one dead Bodak in there.
Not so much the hold, but in here, in the
So that's the pilot house. That's on the
pilot
deck.
house. In the pilot house, there's something in there.
Oh, I thought it was the hold. I thought it was the hold. We found something.
Well, you don't know if anything's in the hold or not. In the pilot house, definitely that's where that guy went, and he radiates a lot of evil. Flash heart, attention-getting evil.
So we think he's an anti-paladin.
Yep.
Yes.
Speaking of Flashheart, the last thing I said before we took off is, hey, shouldn't we bring Flashheart with us?
I don't know what happened there.
Yeah.
He'd gone to bed early, I think.
I went to bed early. I was not feeling well at night.
How many rounds would it take to go back and get him?
Well, are we looking at retcon here? I mean, it was. I mean, if you all right. So we'll do this. If you want to, if you want to go back and bring Flashheart along with you, I'll allow it. Because but it's up to Matt. Would Flashheart have gone? It would have gone with Storm and sort of air calved into this boat.
Undead.
Anti-paladin.
That's to you, Matt.
Maybe anti.
I'm
Maybe
sorry.
there's.
I'm sorry. I thought you were talking to Dan still. You're
Well, no,
saying
I'm
that
talking
you
to. I
have
mean, it's really your choice. Would you have jumped on Storm to go with Fletcher to the boat as everybody? I'm assuming everybody else is making their way on foot.
Did I know there was an anti-paladin on the boat, or suspected before we went to the boat?
You would have, yeah. I mean, you could
Yeah, then
sense
Dan
a
skipped.
profound evil inside that boat.
Profound Evil is my middle name. Wait, that's Gatto's middle name.
No, it's not.
Oh,
So yeah, I would definitely have joined my my blood brother Fletcher here, so we can Cuisinart whatever we find.
all right. So I'm going to move you up there. So before we get going there, let's figure out what are the rest of you doing? Are you guys like running along the ground along this thing to sort of get to the boat? Because you guys are 300 feet away. So I mean, it'll take you to cross the distance. If you're running, depending on your run, I'm assuming that you'll go between 60 and 90 or 120 feet per round. So my guess is that everybody will get there in like inside of 4 rounds. Does that sound accurate, or do we want to do the math on that? Do you guys outrun each other?
4 rounds.
Yeah, let's just do 4 rounds.
4 rounds?
Keep it easy.
Okay.
We can spend the next half an hour figuring out who's got what speed and who gets what when, and yeah.
Well, depending how many coins you have in your pocket.
Yeah.
Wait, let me get a calculator and a density chart. Let's check the atmospheric pressure at boat level.
4 rounds.
4 rounds. All right. So we'll say 4 rounds it takes. And I'm assuming everybody's doing that. They're all you guys are all coming and running up. Now, keep in mind that when you get here, if you're running along the ground, you will get, you have to come across this sort of sandbar or whatever the hell is sticking out of the water. But the boat is about 8 to 10 feet. I don't know boat parts. The edge of the boat that you can climb over is about 8 to 10 feet higher than the sandbar. So you'll have to be able to climb up there or fly over or leap. I don't know, some sort of way to get 8 to 10
Some
feet
sort
up.
of acrobatics check, maybe?
I don't think that's going to work. I'm just kidding. It's possible it works. Maybe an acrobatics check. But I don't know. I mean, auto might not be the best thing neither. But I mean, can Ilindar leap 8 feet into the air? I know I can't. Nor would I want to.
Gatto could leap
reach
up high
an
enough to
8-foot
grab
ceiling.
the edge and then
But
pull
yeah,
himself
he
up.
could leap up to where his hands could touch the, grab the.
And sort of pull yourself up kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's legit. All right. So 4 rounds for you guys. Let's go ahead and roll a niche. Let me get rid of this thing here and get that out of the way. So I think there's going to be a lot of fun to be had.
Oh yeah.
Niche time. Bring on the niche.
We like that, motherfucker, with a 20.
You like that?
Oh,
I do.
gentlemen,
I do like it.
for Flashheart.
Those are some crappy rolls, man.
Hey, Les, will you add Flashheart for the gentleman 7, please?
Sure can. Hold on a second.
Wow, that's the lowest initiative I think I've ever seen from this group. That's
Hey,
crazy.
Chuck, I know you're enjoying the.
Gatto, wow.
Are you checking your chat line there, Chuck?
Sorry, what?
So I know you're enjoying that smoke, but have you checked your chat line?
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Man, I miss smoking.
He makes me crave it, I must say, once in a while.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what, there are periods of time when I don't think about it, but every once in a while I'm just like, what'd be perfect right now? A big fat cigarette.
Never think that.
But Mike, you never smoked, did you?
No.
Never
Probably
took
one
a
of the
puff
things I
or never
like that.
tempted
No.
by the lure of the
Oh, when I was like
the demon
when I was like
weed.
14 or 15, I stole a grandma's cigarette and took like one puff, coughed for a little bit, and it's like, okay, I don't care about being cool. This is not worth it.
Good man.
I don't care about being cool anymore.
I volunteered at the VA hospital and I got stuck on the emphysema ward. I will never smoke.
That fixed it for you.
Yeah,
I want to say Mike has lived up to that proclamation.
Nope.
Imagine that would. All right.
I'm gonna put a buff on Lothar while we're all taking our 4.
Okay. All right. So so for each round that we pass, I am assuming that everybody who's not Fletcher, Flashheart, or Storm will be running. Now, there are certain things that you can do as a move action. I think Jennifer just brought up that she can do certain buffs and that kind of stuff while you guys are running, which is fine. If you guys have something that you can do, and you want to do that. So we'll go through, when we go through the thing, we'll touch base with everybody just to make sure everything's cool and okay. So first up is Gatto.
Go Gatto.
I run north.
Run north. Okay.
He's now 3 rounds away.
3 rounds away. All right. So what is he going to do? I know what he's going to do. He's going to step out of this door. And Flashheart, you see this guy, and he looks like this. Let's just show him off a little bit here.
Oh,
He's about 7.5 feet tall. He has an immense halberd that you can see a cold white smoke coming off of. He radiates. Is the moment he steps out of the door, it's kind of chilly anyway on this boat, sort of unearthed, sort of very weirdly sort of chilly. The moment he steps out of that room, it's like you open the door to a freezer. The whole place, it's like the entire ambient air around you drops 40 degrees. I mean, it becomes instantly cold. You could see your breath. And the same for Fletcher. You could see your breath coming out. And there's just this unearthly cold. It's not painful. It's uncomfortable. Those red eyes come looking over at you, and he looks at Flashheart, and he says, "Paladin of Iomade, you have come to the wrong vessel." And he comes over, he stepped up to here, and negative bursts energy. Boom! You are, and it just Flashheart. Oh, well, you know what? He's going to go ahead and do the extra thing so that everybody is in it. I'm going to need some saving throws. That is I believe, a will save against negative energy.
That's not.
And the DC, just so you guys know, the DC on his channel neg is 25.
Ouch.
Christ. I can barely make that if I max out. Let's see. All right.
Oh, I got a nice one.
Oh!
Get that out of the way early.
Big fail. Oh.
What about Storm? So, Storm rolled a 17. That's a
Oh.
look at Flashheart. Flashheart. The power of Iomade
That's why the
compels you.
Paladin's here.
He holds up a radiance. It's like the channel negative energy deflects it. Now it's half for that, but here you go. So 26 points of negative energy for those of you who missed your save. 13 for Flashheart, and then you see that as a free action, and Flashheart, you're really the only one who understands this. You can see as he blasts negative energy, he brings that halberd up, and you can see it like this ensorcelment kind of like go over it, and you recognize that as a smite. And he's looking right at you.
All right.
So he is smoten. Illendar and Storm, what do you guys do? So Illendar, I'm assuming you're running, perhaps doing one of those things that you do, that very sort of mincy run.
Well, yeah, and the Daffy Duck noises. I don't run at all without Daffy Duck noises.
Flashheart's the lowest to go here, so he's got to stand here and look at this paladin for a while. I have the lowest initiative.
If you guys mentioned this, I can do up to 4 people plus me. So, I mean, if you think it's necessary, I can get us all up there in an action if you want.
She jumps up in the air, flies 60 feet, 30 feet up, and then 30 feet back down and lands.
So she's basically doing like a big parabola?
Yeah.
I still think when she passes through over the back of him,
Okay.
that he would get an attack of opportunity.
Okay.
All right, I just have to. Is she good?
She is good.
Oh,
She's great.
That smite only works on one person, though.
Yeah, does it?
Yep.
She's the best dragon ever.
Damn it! I'm not even remotely ready. I was bitching about my. I was bitching about my cable stuff, but I wasn't ready.
Wait for it.
There you go.
That.
Sorry. I spent some time complaining about my life, and it doesn't mean it means I don't have the audio ready. All right,
That's what
so
happens, yeah.
I'm just gonna do a thing of check smite good because I hope it works on everybody.
No, it works on your target that you specify. 'Cause that's works the same way paladins do.
Okay, well, it's definitely flash art. He
Now,
wants flash arts.
He can choose storm, but
No. He wants. I love this. Once per day, he can call out the dark powers to crush the forces of good. That's what I like. I like that. That's a swift action. One target. Okay, so not her. However, this is not even without smite good. And I think flash art, you should probably pay attention to this roll because even without smite good, I want you to see the numbers involved here. All right, so here comes the attack of opportunity. Is that a 44 to hit? Will that hit?
I'm pretty sure that does.
Let me think. I'm going to need a slide rule. Yes, that hits.
I'm not familiar with my numbers since I leveled, so 36 plus 8.
All right.
That is exactly her armor class.
Shut up.
Wow.
With 2 buffs from, that's exactly her armor class right now.
No kidding.
So
he was swinging at Storm?
Brutal.
Yeah.
Absolutely brutal. All right. So first weapon damage is max 27 points of halberd damage plus the cold that just emanates from this weapon and this creature.
Yeah, keep those separate.
I think Storm is single-handedly increasing the strength of the monsters that Les is having to throw at us. I'm just saying.
No.
No.
That would be a breach of the DM's code. We needed a code for that. So another 7 points of cold damage.
Okay. If you want to give him perception, is he decent at perception?
This guy?
Yeah.
I have to check. I think he just sees everything. He doesn't even have it. Yeah, he's decent.
So he'll notice she didn't even react to the cold damage.
Okay. All right. Well, he says plus 17 on perception. So yeah. All right. He would know because he's much in tune. You could feel this guy just radiates coldness, which she would feel. So even just
single attack, does a 34 hit him?
It does.
So 36 plus 11 holy, and then 31 for a trip against a CMD.
All right. So let me check the CMD first, because if you trip this guy, I'm going to be very fucking pissed. What was the trip attack? 31? Nope. 33 is his CMD. So he is up. But let me check and see if he has DR.
There's got to be a +2 you can pull out of your hat for that. Right?
Yeah.
She rolled a 6 to get that 31. So
yeah, but there's still got to be a +2.
She's got a better than 50.
Just so we could see that vein in Les's head.
Yes, did you include the bull strength, for instance?
She's got.
Doesn't matter on trips, does it?
Yeah, it would add to it, but she's got an item that gives her +4 strength, and items that give you strength don't stack with bull strength.
Right.
Here's the damage. He's still up, but that did hit, and that Storm, continues to punch well above her weight.
47 points of damage.
That's what I did.
Wow.
So that'll give you an idea of how many hit points it has.
Yep.
All right.
Done.
Hey,
All right.
do we
That's
still
it.
have keen edge, haste, and protection from evil on? Any of those buffs? Are they still good?
Not according to what I wrote after. All I had was bull strength. Bull strength on Lothar and Farina, and energy resistance for Fletcher. That's what I had in my notes.
Yeah, I'm taking them all off.
Yeah, I have not cast haste.
Les, I have nothing on me, right? I think I was out of the
I think bull strength.
Actually, I've cast haste once, but that was in the last combat. So nope, I have not cast it for this combat.
I have bull strength.
I think Gordon mentioned that Bardos cast mass bull strength, so it was basically anybody who wanted it.
Anyone? Yeah.
You don't have to take it if you don't want to. I mean, some people have they don't like spells and they don't want to take them.
Weirdos.
The guys last night, for example, have a barbarian that doesn't like spells. They had to cast light on the bottom of his codpiece where he couldn't get at it, so he could see in the dark.
Well, you guys
So
have
I don't think I needed.
fun Saturday nights.
He's still reeling from that, by the way, psychologically. All right, the Bodax. Well, these guys are not happy. They are going to turn their gazes directly at Storm, and they are going to try and do that. Now, gaze attacks you can try to avoid, but in this case, there's going to be 2 of them. So let me just go to the gaze attack rules.
She's facing the other way, biting at the guy on the other side of him. So,
well, all right, then they'll jump on top of her and gaze directly into her eyes.
Gaze into her eyes.
Gaze attack takes effect with foes. If you avert eyes or wear a blindfold, you have a 50% chance of avoiding to have them make a saving throw. So you are looking the other way. So I'm assuming that you will have a 50% chance to avoid versus each of them. But they are going to sort of jump around here past you and sort of get into the point where they can both stare at you. So I'm assuming that since she's facing.
She's going to take a back of opportunity on whoever the first.
Well, that would invalidate. So if she does that, that invalidates the averting the gaze kind of thing.
Oh, you still giving that to her, even though they're coming around front?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because
Okay.
she's looking the other way. So
Okay.
if you want to take the attacks of opportunity, you can do that, but it invalidates the avert.
I agree with that. So nope, she's going to not take the attack.
Okay, she's not going to take the attack. So I need 50-50 on the potential for gaze attack and I need that twice. So you call it high or low.
So high means she doesn't get affected.
Okay.
So that's the first one. That's the
Okay.
second one.
Oh, all right. So she has to make a saving throw. So on the gaze attack for these guys, it is a Fortitude DC 18. Ooh, you could feel that negative energy pouring over you. The Bodax have both done that. They are trying to do that, and that didn't work, so they are unhappy. So that's the end of their turn. Farina, you are up.
Farina's going to cast Cat's Grace on Lothar as she's running and continue running north.
Okay, Cat's Grace on Lothar.
Yep.
All right.
I'm going to keep my cat next to me. That's it.
Okay, I'm just writing that down. Let me go ahead. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do it this way. How long does that last?
I'll let you know.
Combat.
Okay.
It's minutes.
Okay, cool. Oh, it's minutes?
Yeah, it's going to be like 12
All right,
minutes. 13,
never
something
mind
like
that. All right, Cat's Grace. All right, that is it for Farina. Bardos, what about you?
You guys want me to dimension door, or you want to just run?
I just run. I mean, we're not going to be good close up anyway. That's why we did the Flash and Fletch Upult. Is to get just to get the combat ones up there.
I like Air Cav. That's what I like calling it. But you guys can call
We
it.
definitely need some sort of soundtrack as we come in.
Yeah.
I
I'll
think
think of something.
Apocalypse Now has taken
Yeah,
care of that. We have a
Yeah.
soundtrack.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll just keep running then.
I'm not sure that sounds too cool for us. I think we need something like a warbling.
I mean, to be honest, right now, you asked about being dimension doored. Right now, with these guys out in the open, I would say the archers stop and start plunking these undead.
Yeah, you were able to kill him pretty quick last time.
Yeah, you guys cut them down pretty quick.
I thought you were gonna go with Careless Whisper.
As of-
so I appreciate this.
As of right now,
That's 12 minutes to this.
12 minutes, okay. All right, so Bardos. Hey, buddy.
I'm just gonna keep running.
All right. Fletcher, now you're on the boat. Now you see these Bodax and they're swarming around Storm, and you can see their glowing red eyes trying to catch Storm. You see Storm sort of looking away and that kind of stuff. The guy that Storm hit seems 100% focused on Flashheart.
What does the hold itself look like? Is that an object that's in my way?
So that those doors are about 8 inches to a foot off the ground, and they've got these big things. Now this door is open, so it's sort of pulled back, and it's just an empty hole that goes into the thing. So that's essentially a hole in the deck that goes into the hold.
But I can't
Pitch
use my
black down.
pounce ability to go across and charge.
Can
Part that
you
isn't-
go? I would
It's gotta be a
think
straight line.
not. Yeah, it's got to be a straight line, and I
Well,
don't
that's
think
what
you
I'm
can
wondering.
like
Can it go in a
leap.
straight line? Because this part's closed, but
Well,
8
can
inches
you-
is too high.
Well, no, I'm thinking it's less about the 8 inches as it is about the fact that there's a big hole you'd have to jump over.
Who you're
Yeah,
going to
I
attack.
go straight line here, right here.
If you're doing a straight line here,
Oh, that you can
attack
do.
these guys, you can do that.
Yeah, if you're going to attack those guys.
Okay.
I thought you were going to try and pounce the anti-paladin.
No.
He's
Okay.
leaving after me.
Oh, well, then that's fine.
If you're not going to touch the anti-paladin, then that's okay.
Yeah, just leave my anti-paladin alone. He's got Fletcher on his mind.
So he'll then come to here. Whoops. And first attack against this guy.
All right.
And he gets +2. So
When you
that's-
charge, you only get one attack.
Well, if you
No,
got
I have
pounce,
pounce. I get a full attack.
you get a full
Oh,
attack.
pounds.
But
He
it's
gets
all gonna
pounced,
be-
yeah.
It's all going to be the same guy, though.
Which is very lame.
Oh, I can't split when I pounce?
Not when it pounce, because you can't pounce on multiple people.
Got it.
But yeah, you can
Oh,
totally
that-
demolish one of them.
Then maybe what I'll do is I'll stop here then, so there's an open target there for the archers, and then I'll hit this guy.
Okay.
Okay. And then I've got flanking.
Yeah.
Attack 1.
Not that you need it, but
I'm sorry, you want to roll that again?
Attack 2. Oops, sorry.
Good thing you
Take
were
-5
flanking.
on that.
50? Attack roll 50?
The hell?
Do any of those miss?
Yeah, they all miss. They got a 66 AC. That's all I could do. No, they all hit. Of course they all hit. 50.
Okay, so
roll
eight.
8.
What's 33?
And this
That's
is
crazy.
aligned good.
Okay. 42.
128.
All right. Let me just see. That's going to be okay.
Let's subtract that and see how that
carry the one.
Carry the 5.
Even if I were to apply their damage reduction, which I don't think I can, it's still enough to completely chop this guy into pieces. So yeah, he goes down in a couple of sections, smoking and sizzling as he hits the deck. So yeah, he's down. This other Bodak
Smile at his friend.
is a little. I don't know if Undead can be nervous, but he does look a little trepidatious about the next round or so, which is weird. I don't know why he's doing it. All right, that it for you?
Yep.
Lothar, you're up.
Okay, I'm gonna take one movement.
Okay.
But I'm gonna angle it to this direction so that I can get a clear shot at the Death Knight.
Okay. Ooh,
Anti-paladin,
you're gonna take an
whatever.
arrow shot. All right.
I'm gonna take 2 arrow shots.
All
So
right.
I know at this distance we don't really need to move. I'm just making sure that I have a clear line.
Mhm.
So I'm going to do 2 shots. It's going to be the arrows, the force arrows that ignore all armor,
Mm-hmm.
and they're holy. So
Okay. 30
30.
is a hit,
and
and 13
13
is a miss.
okay. So then the 30 is going to do 7 arrow plus 16 against evil.
Okay. He's not evil, weirdly enough. He's a neutral anti-paladin.
He's a neutral
so-
anti-paladin.
That's why we were feeling that neutral.
Wait, let me
feeling.
double check. Oh, you know what? He is evil.
He's
All right,
very
so-
he's very Gato-like, is what you're saying.
You got that mask evil thing going on.
All right. So Lothar hits him. You're so you are 1 move action behind, but that's okay. All right. So anything else?
No, that's it.
All right. Flash arts.
Actually, I'm
What?
sorry.
Oh,
I'm gonna send the bird on a full move action.
Okay.
So Siggy stays with everybody else.
Okay. So Ziggy's coming along with. Okay. Perfect. All right. So Flash Heart, the challenge has been set. Are you
All right.
really going to let Fletcher steal this opportunity from you to show the power of Iomade against this force of evil that is equal, perhaps even to your powers?
Wait, is the goading done now? All right, is this this is a clear walkway, right? Or clear
Yeah.
path? All right. All right, I'm going to crash into Evil Paladin and put the hammer down. I'm going to do Smite Evil.
Okay. Smite good versus Smite evil. Here we go.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yes, we definitely need the Star Trek fight music.
I can only.
I gotta expand my sound effects. I gotta be honest with you. I didn't have the Bride of the Valkyries. I don't have the
Star Trek.
The Star Trek fight song. Yeah.
Star Trek. You need the ship to ship is dun, 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 and the other one I just did there. And of course, there's the green dancing lady music. That's the third one you have to have handy for any seduction. Okay, that's my hit. Is that a hit? Huh?
Hold on a second. No.
Yeah. That was hopeful.
I gotta find better music than that. All right, so 34 is a hit.
All right, so now
Radiance, you feel the power of Iomade singing through Radiance as she crashes into this thing. You, however, are just unbelievably. I mean, you step up to this guy, and it's just the coldness just radiates from him.
so at the full strength, I'm 1d8 plus 25. 24. No, I'm right.
Oh, wait. He's got Smite Good going on, so he gets a bonus to his AC. Hold on. I got to do... Ooh, that is a miss due to his Smite Good bonus.
All right. I got to read my Smite Evil to see if I cancel his bonus. All right. Boo.
Hey, Mike, can you remind me what Storm's aura does?
I was just looking that up.
It's plus AC.
I know it's AC. It might. I know it does saves, but the saves might just be for me if I'm in it. That's what I'm checking right now.
Like a protection thing, yeah. Okay. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah.
That's okay. Nobody really knows what that dragon can do.
Ow!
We are kind of happy about that one.
Okay.
Color,
It does do +2 to AC and saves.
Hey, just okay. Sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead. I was just gonna say, Smite Evil does this. That wasn't damage reduction, right? That's just AC improvement.
According to this, it's an AC improvement. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, but he still stays my Smite Evil target, so I keep getting the same thing each time. Okay.
Okay. So that is a miss. Do you get another attack?
Because he moved.
No, because I moved. I don't.
Okay.
It's gonna get chilly up in here.
Getting a bit chilly. All right, that is the end of round one. Everybody is still charging up, trying to get close. Everybody is. Yeah, did you remember bull strength? How much? What does it give you? Oh, you did. Okay.
It's +2. It's +2 to my ability modifier.
Right.
It's +4 to your ability, which gives you +2 to attack.
Right.
Right. That's what I did.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, so we go into round two. It's Gatto's turn. What do you do?
I changed my running time to 2. I charged this round. I ran forward.
You can't.
Are you going for help?
Okay.
Where are you?
It was
Just
4
running.
rounds, then went to 3. Now I'm 2 rounds away.
Gotcha.
I wasn't
Okay.
here when he started running, but did he go for help?
He's running. Weirdly, he's running in the opposite direction. Back
Yeah, I was about to
to.
say, which way is he running?
He's 2 rounds away from the waterfall where we started.
All right, it is the anti-paladin's turn, and it is his turn to make a full attack with Smite Good. Now, Smite Good is on every attack roll, right?
Yep.
Well, but it's
Oh,
on his. It's on the person he. I mean,
then it's you.
Yeah.
He
No,
picks
no,
one
he-
target, right?
No, he picked on Storm. That's his target.
He didn't use the he did an attack of opportunity. He didn't use Smite Good on him.
I got it. Okay, then yes.
All right, here we go. You see a strange, cold white radiance on his weapon as he brings it around to get you. 46 hit you?
Yes.
All right, so let's just go ahead and do damage as we go
Hey,
along.
he wasn't flanked when I attacked him, was he?
Yes, he
He
was.
was,
They give you
yeah.
+2.
Ooh, that would be +2. Then would that have missed then less?
That would
It still
still
won't matter.
miss.
A 36 would miss? Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll just tell you. So he's got AC 29. With Smite Evil, that brings it up, or Smite Good, I mean, it brings it up 8 to 37.
Okay. Good
So
enough.
that's his AC. Yeah, he's tough. All right, so 46 to hit. So that is 20 points of weapon damage and 13 points of cold damage.
So 33 points. Okay, so that puts me down to 40. Okay.
Second attack
Medic. Second attack.
is...
Okay, there's no way that took you down that much.
Yeah. no
Position heal
shit.
myself.
How did that take me down that much? It was just 33 points of damage.
Yeah,
How many
you should
points
be.
do you have as a 12th level
was already-
paladin?
You should
I have
be
94.
starting at like.
As far as I know, I was injured last time. I never got healed, so I was still injured. But
Oh, no,
granted,
you
my
would have
combat-
taken up.
Yeah, we healed between combats.
That was like
And as a
days
12th
ago,
level
dude.
paladin, I don't know if I gave myself hit points for 12th level, but I'm
No.
at 94
What's the hit
points.
points on you had? According to this, you have 90 hit points. That can't be right.
No, that's not right.
We need to redo that.
All right, how do I recalculate my hit points? Is this something we do on a flyer? How do I
Well,
go
it's
through this
whatever
turn
you
and then I'll
roll.
calculate it?
It's whatever you rolled for
Karina's-
12 d10s plus 12 times your con bonus.
Now, Karina's got 90 hit points.
All right, 12 d10. Okay, I'll go back and do it, but we'll do it after this turn.
All right, just remember that. Well, I'm not
Remember
done.
you're at negative. Yeah, 33 so far.
33. I'll keep track. 33, and then now, so his second attack. 39 to hit.
Yes, that's what it is.
That's a miss. Did you say?
No, it's a hit. That hits.
That's a hit. Okay. So another. Ooh,
What is your
20.
AC against him with your Smite Evil going?
Good question.
Because you get a bonus to your AC with Smite Evil going.
AC. So that'd be. Okay, so that'd be 30. I forgot about the bonus AC. So my AC normally is 33, so that would make it 30. It'll be my charisma bonus, right? So that would be 37. So yes, still hits.
37. Okay, that exactly hit because Storm gives you a 2 more, which makes it 39.
Oh,
That's exactly what he rolled. So
Yep. All right. So another, what is that? 27 and 9 is 36 points of damage. And his final attack is a potential crit, actually, because he crits on 19,
like fire here.
19 to 20. So
Ooh.
let's just try and confirm that. Oh, that's a confirmed crit. I got to check. So Laying Waste hasn't been working, but it's back. It is back. So this is a crit, and he's going to take the chart. Box the ears. Target suffers maximum damage and is deafened for 1d4 rounds. So let's just go ahead. So we'll say he's 4 rounds and then max damage. So max damage in this case would be 27 plus 18 cold, which would be 45. Oh man, we're getting perilously close to problematic levels of damage. So 14.
That put me into 0 for sure. Past 0.
So that's 114 points.
Yes, I'm down for sure, but
I don't know that you are. At a 12th level paladin, I think you would probably have more than that, but I think you'll definitely have more than that.
Yeah, so it's 10d12 plus my charisma bomb, like my con bonus, right?
it's your con bonus times 12. What's your constitution?
Is 13.
So it's basically 10d12 plus 13. So you max out it. If you roll perfect every time, you'd have 133.
Okay.
So you probably are somewhere in the 100-ish range.
How much you hit less? 140 points of damage? Where are we at?
Mhm.
124? I'm pretty sure. Well, Flashheart's down either way. What he?
I don't think he's
down?
down. I don't think he's
Okay.
down yet. He's probably got somewhere in the 120s. We need to roll that though to make sure.
All right. So you want me to roll him? Let's roll
Yeah,
out.
I think let's do it. What's your con bonus?
It sucks.
Plus one.
Plus
Put it
one.
on
All
the
right.
cruiser,
So it's
baby.
Mathematically, he's got a better chance to be under 100 than over.
Well, and you get +1 per level too, right?
No.
For favored class.
Yeah,
Yep.
I was about
Oh
to say.
yeah, if you did that, then
You either get a hit point or you get a skill point. And I'm assuming you took hit points.
all right.
Oh,
So
okay.
and he's 12. So go ahead. I guess it's D10
It's
for
12
hit
D10,
points.
or
Well,
is it 10 D12s or 12 D12s?
It's 12 D10s,
D10s, that's right. Okay.
and then for you it'd be plus 24.
Plus
Right.
24. Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
So
Oh, that was terrible.
I take my roll.
Les, you're gonna
Either
roll for
way.
me, right, Les?
Either one of those rolls makes you dead, like Dud did.
Dead. Les, you're gonna roll for me, right?
I can.
I say the whole party gets to roll for him, and he gets to pick the best one.
So I think I was right on my hit points. Yeah, maybe I was a little off somewhere, but I think I was. Oh, Jesus. Well,
what was that?
Wow.
Yeah, take lessons.
You died last week.
All right. So so I don't. All right. So.
What do you
Okay.
say?
So even at 93, that would
Wait.
be.
So let's
always-
add the 24. So it's actually like
Well, remember, the first one is automatically max, so he gets the 10 for the first one
You
always.
get 10
Oh, yeah,
at
that's
first
right.
level, right?
oh,
That still makes that 93 even
So it's
97.
11 D10
Yeah, yeah.
plus,
A 97
plus
plus
34.
Plus 24 is
24.
It's
120.
11 D10 plus 34.
I'm sorry.
That's worse that time.
11 D10 plus 34.
Yeah.
All right, hold
Did
on.
it
Who
worse.
rolled that? Okay. How you guys getting worse? This is like a new
90,
challenge. Bowling for hit points.
All right, what's your con?
A 13.
That's already out in there.
that's in there. That's the 24.
Yeah. So that 90 plus everything else would be
There you go.
124.
There we go. I got
All right,
over 100.
101. That puts him at
Plus-
negative
Plus
12.
24.
negative 13.
Negative 12, which means you
Negative
got,
12.
means you got one round to stabilize.
Take toughness as a feat, did you, Matt? Because that's a pretty typical thing for fighters to take.
What did he take?
I took
Toughness?
toughness. I don't know. Go back to feats. I'm pretty sure I screwed myself in feats. That's the one area. Then I think I took the paladin feats, but I don't think I took. Let's see. I got lay on hands, mighty evil. Step
So
up.
I say we give him his 101 and assume he took, not endurance, but what's the one that gives you +1 hit point per level?
Toughness.
Toughness.
It gives you
So-
3 at first and plus 1 there.
So that would give him 113 exact hit points. So he's at 0.
Is that right? 12.
Jesus.
So he did 114. So he's not at 0. He's at negative 1.
Oh, -1 then.
Yeah. All right. So
I like the
down.
fact that at 12th level, we're finally figuring out his hit points.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't think I was that far off, but somehow I missed the. I definitely didn't do the toughness thing. But,
Well, so I guess I
nothing has changed
mean,
in all these turns. Okay, go ahead.
so well, I guess the question is, if you feel so here we have to meta a little bit. If you feel like you would have taken toughness, then you're at -1. If you feel like you wouldn't have taken toughness as a feat choice, and you have, I mean, you have your
Then you're
feat choice.
dead.
Well, no, you're not. He's down -13. He's got a
one
con
round.
of 14, which means
he's
he's
got a
got
con-
one
he's got
more
con of 13.
round to stabilize.
No, he's got a con of 13, which means he's got 1 round to stabilize. He's got 1 roll and that's it.
Oh, his con's 13.
Yeah. So
Well, did he apply? Well, he wouldn't have necessarily applied to there. So, so I guess the question is,
I said
from
we
your,
give him toughness.
well,
Yeah,
but
I
he's
mean,
got,
any-
but he,
any paladin would take toughness. I mean, it's just.
but he,
it's
but,
just-
I'm not
I
denying it.
think-
But if he's got a full feat selection already, what feat is he giving up to take toughness?
To
I don't
be
think I,
honest,
no, I don't think I.
I
took
don't
that.
know how many feats he's chosen. Feats give you special abilities, and I haven't heard him say any of those. So
Yeah, I don't think.
I say if we went through his character, we'd probably find he's still got 2 or 3 feats to select.
Right. Gordon, like 3 years ago, was trying to help me fix that, and I just never got around to time keeps passing. So I think it was actually 3 years ago, Gordon. You looked at my character sheet.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's
Yeah,
3
so-
years ago.
And he's like, I think you're missing some feats here. And I go,
Hey,
yeah, I'll get
Hey
to
Matt,
that."
send your character sheet to Don. He's
Okay.
played a couple paladins and he's good at them. Let him pick some stuff for you and send it back.
All
All
right,
right.
Don.
The 101 in toughness is now canon. So
101 in toughness. Okay.
all right. So
Min max me, Don. Make me the most lethal killing machine.
I'll make you the scariest threat to Gato ever.
all right. So Flashheart is down. He has taken 3 massive hits from this guy who just whirled this thing around. Fletcher, you're just standing there looking at him like, holy shit! Radiance has landed on the deck of the boat and is just laying there, sort of glowing with that golden light that it does. And it's like, even you're guessing that Iomade is somewhere off in the distance, going, "What the hell just happened to my champion?"
I just felt a disturbance in the force.
Yeah, there's a disturbance in the
So
force.
Iomade is sitting there shaking her head, saying, "Why didn't he do his feats?"
Why didn't he do his
Yeah.
feats, for Pete's sake?
All
All
right,
right.
he was praying to me. I would have hooked him up.
What happened to
All
my
right.
champion? Well, he was set up for 6th level while playing 12.
Yeah.
And an
All right,
anti-paladin just boned him.
Yeah, an anti-paladin just hurt him hard. Ilindar, you're up. Storm even remotely capable of dealing with that kind of damage? Because he can switch his smite good now.
Well, he can expend a new one.
Right. He's got 5.
Yeah.
So Wielandar witnessed this, right?
Yeah. Sort of in slow motion where you see Flasher like, oh, as he gets clouded by this guy.
Okay.
3 hits by an anti-paladin is pretty damn hard, though. I mean, that's don't get hit is the moral of the story.
It's the ultimate challenge, though, for a paladin, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
She's
Now I
fighting
have to raise from the dead.
and he's going to get another attack of opportunity.
Okay. Where is she doing?
She comes over. She collects Flashheart and his sword.
Okay.
So the movement gives him an attack of opportunity.
Which he will take. Absolutely. He's going to try and bring that thing around. Hold on. Let me let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay. And he's not smiting her yet.
Game of Thrones. I'm getting into Game of Thrones feel for Flashheart here.
Ned.
He's not smiting her. So 37.
She swats that away.
Back. Okay. Oh, that's right. I need a 44.
She's being, no, you need 46 because she's fighting defensively coming over here now.
Well, that doesn't seem at all fair.
She's being very motherly right now. So
Okay.
no. She puts the hand up. No, talk to the hand.
All right.
She collects him up, and then as Ilandar's action, he does Maker's Call, which brings her to him instantly like Dimension Door.
Okay.
So Storm and Flashheart and Sword are all right next to Ilandar.
Okay. Boop.
And then Ilandar will call to Lothar. Message for you, sir.
You see, so you look at Flashheart's body and he has these immense slashes on him, but they've been sort of reverse cauterized by the incredible coldness. I mean, you can see frostbite along the edges. The skin is blackened away. This could have a charisma impact. If he loses a pinky, he's going to lose some toes like those Everest guys.
Less chick stick scars.
Chick stick scars? Maybe
Yeah.
it's maybe the charisma impact is that it goes up a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, Flashheart's sitting right there.
Okay.
Flash.
So so Fletcher, at this point, you're all alone on the boat.
That's just the way I like it.
Now remember, you've been cured of blood rabies, so magical blood rabies. I mean,
okay, never mind that.
you might be thinking that this might not be what you want.
Yeah, so now he's just going to throw plus 60s to hit because he likes it. It's not going to be a magical issue. He's just going to enjoy himself.
All right, so you did Maker's Call, Ilandar, and dragged him back, and then yelled out to Lothar. Lothar,
put Flashheart right here.
Our paladin didn't update his character sheet. Look at him now. He needs help badly. And it's the last Bodak's turn. So the last Bodak is looking at Flesher. He saw what happened to his friend. So let's see if they have any ranged attacks. That's what I want. They don't. So he's there a little bit, and then he's like, and jumps at you. 5-foot step and full attack with the slams with his as he brings his horrifying claws around to hit you.
Hey, Matt,
I don't think these are going to hit, to be honest.
Yes,
with
sir.
you,
move flash art to right here.
Yeah. Okay. Wait,
right.
where?
Down the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, yeah.
Claw attacks
Okay.
a 20 and a 25. Either of those don't even come close, do they?
No, the 20. Oh, sorry. Yes. No, the 25 just misses.
Just misses. All right, so you just swat those away with your own claws. It's a claw fight. It's a cat fight. Doesn't get anything. He can't do his gaze attack at you like he wants to because he tried to do it to Storm, because those gaze attacks, if they hit, 1d4 negative levels. And I think that would have taken the fight right out of Storm, but Storm abandoned you. Farina, what do you do?
I think Flashlight's
How
already
far
been
away
hit
are
by
we now,
that.
Les?
Still got 2 rounds before you get there.
How far is that though? In feet?
Well, it's within shooting range, if that's what you're thinking.
Probably
Yeah,
I would
100
say 150 feet. Yeah, 130, 140 feet.
I'm at 110 to be without taking negatives. So I have to take negatives.
So
I'll
you
give
take
it
a
to you.
negative. You take a -2.
Okay, I'm just gonna shoot at. Yeah, I'm bad guy.
The guy, okay.
Paladin.
Bodak or the anti-paladin?
The big guy's the anti-paladin, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Holy errors.
Ooh, natural, and there's a confirm. 37.
Well, because he's got Smite Evil, he normally would have a 37, but because it's not on you, his AC is 29. So that is a confirmed critical. Do you have any powers
Okay.
on your well, do you want, I'm assuming as an archer you're taking the damage.
Yeah.
As an archer, what?
Plus,
Taking the damage. Archers tend to really spoke up damage on crits as opposed to
I'll
other
take
weapons.
the damage.
Okay.
It's
So
like
are these
damage
magic
minus
weapons,
2.
holy weapons, anything like that to get
It's
through
a holy
his?
weapon.
magic
It's
or holy.
holy.
Okay.
Magic and holy.
Magic and holy.
So it's 3 times max damage, right?
It's 3 times
Right?
your roll
3 times?
Yeah, 300 roll. So
minus the bonus.
46 plus
4d6
3.
plus whatever your plus is, which is 4, 5, 6, somewhere in there.
But the plus
Right.
isn't added to the crit, so it'd be 12d6 plus your normal bonus. Essentially.
Yeah, it is.
No, it would be 46. I don't think it is. Is
Yeah,
it?
it is. Everything is for a
Yeah,
crit.
I don't. So it's 3 plus 3 plus 3 for
Yep.
a crit. That would make sense.
Just roll your normal hit and we'll just multiply it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
12d6. Oh well, it's
No,
200,
46 plus whatever your plus is. If it's 3, then it's just 46 plus 3, and then you triple
Okay,
that.
hang on. I gotta go back.
And you've got the many shot thing, right?
I do.
Yes.
So the first is
So
So
it doesn't crit
13
both
points
arrows,
times
but that
3
means that other arrow automatically hits.
Right.
So
Well, she's not doing a full attack, is she? She stops?
yeah, I was.
yeah.
Okay.
I was.
So 13
Okay.
times 3. It's 39 for the
39.
crit arrow, and then roll your damage for the second arrow of that pair. So 39 plus 16,
45.
55.
Good
Now I
try.
have to
55,
roll my-
sorry.
Now I'm gonna roll my other
That's why I went into
arrows.
journalism.
DM math.
35.
Oh!
Again.
But unconfirmed. Exploding dice, though.
So that's what does that mean? You get to I don't.
You-
I never
Well,
did
so
it.
yeah, you just hit exploding
your
dice. Means
damage
if you do max on any of your dice, you get to roll that dice over again.
Okay. So
Or add it. It's not over.
So there's 46 plus 3, and then
Oh, and
Ooh,
So
Ooh,
56.
2
I
more
can roll again.
D6s. I'm gonna have to start tallying
Jeez,
this.
this is fun.
yeah,
Roll more sixes.
Oh, okay. I saw that 6 and I was like, what the hell, man? All right, so a total of 29. So 20. So what was it? 55. Now it's 29. So all right. Do you have any more arrows? Probably
And
not.
then I get one more arrow.
You roll a
one
20.
more.
You're out of the game.
What is this 20 you speak
You know
of?
what? I can give it that for the night. Oh, look at that.
28's a miss. But
28?
still, what I've got here
I
is
thought 27 was
29.
29.
29 is. Well, I've got 84 points of damage. Does that tally with what you guys have?
Damn.
Yeah.
That
Guys,
is
28.
a lot of arrow damage. 2 potential crits.
Sweet.
That hurt him.
Chart.
That hurt him. He's not happy with you. And when you get close, I have a feeling that some negative energy
Let me
bursting's going to
know.
go on. Well, he's probably going to use some to heal himself. So we'll do that.
I'm not gonna get close.
All right. Farina, that's it for you, correct?
Mhm.
Bardos.
You got spell resistance less?
I do.
Okay, so do I have to roll that or do you? I can't
Yeah,
remember.
You roll it.
D20 plus your level. Unless you
It's a
have
D20 plus my level?
Yeah,
Mhm.
if you got spell penetration or greater penetration, then you add either 2 or 4 to that roll as well.
So 1d20 plus 12. $21.
21 is not going to get through.
So you cast the spell,
Okay.
but nothing happens.
That cold aura about him the spell just seems to fizzle out against the horrifying, evil coldness that's around him. What was the spell that you were going to cast?
Telekinesis. I was going to try to lift him, make him soar into the sky.
Okay. Did not work. All right, Fletcher, you're all alone. You're being attacked by a Bodak who almost hit you last time. This guy whirls and looks at you and is like, "Are you next?"
Mhm.
And no one's calling out any requests to Fletcher, right?
Play Freebird.
Play some Leonard Skinner, man.
5-foot step to there.
Will you play some Leonard
And,
Skinner, please? Maybe 3 steps or give me the breeze.
Full attack action on this guy.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm thinking about something.
Well, it's hard to do things at your age, new things at your age.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I think I get to roll a D4 on Vicious Mockery on that one.
Oh, shit. Or I shall taunt
All right,
you a
first
second
attack.
time.
All right. That's a miss. No, that's a hit, obviously. 45.
damage.
Is your sword holy at all?
It's good. I
It's
don't know the difference
good.
between good or holy, but
Well, it's sort of the same. All right, so
It,
It's gonna line, probably.
bypasses his DR is what it means.
yeah. Oh man. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. All right.
One
How many
hit.
more?
I'm
You only have
going
one more
to-
attack, right? You have 2
Yeah, I
attacks.
got
per
2
round?
more.
Yeah,
Two more.
2 more. Sorry, hold on. This is the part I'm trying to make a decision on. I'm going to regret, but I'll go for it.
Okay. That is a hit, but barely. All
Maybe
right.
you can kill anti-paladin with curses too, Dan, or
Pardon?
witty puns. Said you can
Witty
kill
puns.
anti-paladins with witty puns too.
All right, I'm using surprise accuracy on this attack.
What does that even mean?
It's something I always forget to
Surprise to
use. It's one of my
It's
abilities.
surprising.
It's
Surprise
very surprising.
accuracy.
It gives me +4 to hit.
He's going to
So
surprisingly
instead of
bury
-5,
his
I'm
weapon
only
in
at
his head.
-1 from the previous one. There we go.
Hit.
All right, that's a miss.
And
Damn you.
that's
Damn you,
44
Fletcher.
damage.
Ooh, not quite enough. He had
Now, let me
47
ask you a
points.
question.
It's like, I'm
Let
not
me ask
dead
you a
yet.
question, though.
Sure.
Well, no, we kind of put his claws to rest, didn't we?
I think we did. Yeah,
Oh, but you know what? I apologize.
you should.
All
that-
3 of those are +2 damage
Why?
because of the bull strength. It's not in my macro.
6 mo.
How's
So
that
would be an
weekend
extra
shaping
6
up, Les?
points.
The points went up for some reason. I don't know why. All right. He falls. The halberd
Oh,
clatters to the ground. And hold on a second. The halberd clatters to the ground, and the Bodak, as an undead, withered undead creature, looks like it's about to shit himself. but they don't actually shit, so you don't know what he's about to do. But he's not happy at that at all. But the man, the guy, after this onslaught, he leans back up against the railing on the boat, whatever that's called, the boat rail, and he sort of slides down, and the halberd falls to the ground. You see his red light sort of flicker and blacken.
Excellent.
Nicely done.
But we'll stay in. We'll stay. Well, we're staying in for the boat act. So, Lothar, you're up.
Okay, so there appears to be a mostly dead paladin at my feet.
Yeah.
Is he dead? Is he dead?
He's not dead yet. He's bleeding out though. Well, not, I mean, he's in a bad way. So he's at -1. He's got, if he gets to -13, then he's dead permanently.
Well, no, it's just I don't have to use Breath of Life. He's not dead. So as a swift action, I'm going to burst.
Okay.
25.
So he is back up 24 points, and
And
he's like,
so
"Let
is
me at
every-
him! Let me
and
at him!"
So is everybody else around me, including Storm.
Thank you.
And then as my standard action, I'm going to burst again.
Okay.
Oh, are
Ooh,
you
another-
kidding me?
Do you want me to roll?
Yeah, because that's mostly ones.
Okay, 8d6. I got that right?
Yes,
You have a bonus on there, or is it just 8d6 straight up?
it's just 86.
There you
That's
go.
better.
28 more for every day. So Flashheart, you are back in business. Fletcher, give me a perception check when you have a moment. All right. And so that's your entire round, isn't it? 2 actions, 2 heals, 2 bursts.
Yeah, swift action and then standard action. So I'm done.
Okay, so you're done. Flashheart, you sort of like wake up and you're like, did I get him? Did I win?
Yeah, you got storm slobber all over you.
You're feeling better, but you look down and you see these enormous, now they're healed and now they're all scarred, but these enormous like slashes in your shoulder area and one in your abdomen, and you're just like, and you're looking at it and you can see sort of like that weird burny sensation, like when you touch dry ice, and it's sort of like that. You have that sensation around the cuts. You're still alive. You're not happy, but
it burns
yeah,
when you pee.
It burns when you pee. So I'm assuming you get back on your feet. And...
Yes. Since
Okay.
I already have a smite evil. Wait, the paladin is dead? The evil paladin is dead? Fletcher finished it?
I don't know. It's happening so fast. It could be that nobody knows.
Did Fletcher take up the mantle of the evil paladin and come to kill us all? Okay. All right.
No, we stopped that already.
I am very grateful to Lothar and Storm for bringing me back from the brink again. The last time I was down that far was Castle Dresden when the big bad took me out in his room there. Killed me right out, like in one shot.
Yeah, those are tough.
What was the name?
It got better.
Yeah. It got
A newt.
All right, Dan, I'm sending you a message.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, God, Dan's
Thank you.
infected again.
All right, we go into round 3. Gato, what do? You still running?
Yep.
You're getting closer. You're not sure what's going on. You see Fletcher and a Bodak. The Bodak looks frightened. You're not sure what he's going to do. Did you get the message, Fletch?
I did. I can speak as a free action, right?
Sure. Not to those guys, though.
Team, we might have a problem here.
What?
And he points at the anti-paladin.
Okay. So these guys are still like 100 feet away. So you're yelling this. You're like,
I'm yelling it. I'm not sure what they're going to hear, but
okay. All right,
Do
cool.
we want this boat anyway?
I heard it.
And
say,
Paladin's
well
dead, isn't he?
done. Yeah.
no clapping.
Hold the applause.
Hold the applause. There may be an encore.
All right. He doesn't move, but well, let me hold on.
This
Whoops,
is
I
not
misspelled.
Fletcher's area of speciality.
Hound of the Resurrection. You should have led with that. No Hellboy fans? Fine.
Been a long time
Oh,
since
you're
I saw
great.
any of the Hellboy movies.
All right. Illidar and Storm.
I was gonna say they probably wouldn't have known the paladin was gone, so Storm probably would have started flying as fast as she could back.
To help out Fletcher?
Yeah.
Okay.
It probably wouldn't be till she's gonna fly because she's faster. It probably wouldn't be till she got in the air and looked and saw that big guy was down.
This guy's still around. There's the music.
Charlie don't surf.
All right, so she's flying back.
She'd probably get to the edge of the map.
Yep, I think so.
round.
Okay. All right.
Illindar is just going to kind of help out with what's going on.
Bodak is going to take a 5-foot step and interpose himself between Fletcher and the body of the anti-paladin. Hold on a second. He's under everything. Let me bring him to the front. And 5-foot step, he's going to take a couple of attacks at you, and he's going to try and push sort of like, he's basically Fletcher. He's getting in between you and the anti-paladin. You guess that maybe he understands what's happening?
Probably better than I do.
Oops, sorry, that was ignore that one. So first is 21, second is a 27 hit you?
The 27 hits.
Nice. Finally, D8 plus 1. Suck on that. I'm going to make that 3D8 plus 3. No, I'm not. I'm
Want
just...
to?
2 points of damage. He just sort of like, he reaches out, he swatted away, and he gets you a light slap.
Stop it.
Very
Stay
light. You
away.
would probably recognize, Les, that he didn't actually damage me.
Okay. Oh, he didn't get through. You have DR?
I have DR. DR too.
Well, he's then I did 1. That's great.
I did twice as much damage.
How dare you slap me gently like that? All right, Farina, what do you do? Now you stopped and did a full round of arrows. So everybody is sort of, well, several people now are sort of ahead of you in the running. So you're still a couple of rounds away. If you wanted to get on the boat.
Did I get the idea that Fletcher was trying to signal something to us?
He was yelling like, "We have a problem," and he's pointing at the what you assume is the body of the anti-paladin.
Okay, so I'm gonna keep. How far are we? Where are we at?
You're still about 2 rounds of
110
distance.
feet.
Yeah, about 100 feet away.
And then is this other guy? This other guy's still kicking, right? So I'm gonna shoot arrows at him.
The Bodak.
Kill
Yep.
the Bodak.
Okay.
Bodak, arrow number 1.
That's a hit.
Arrow
Definitely.
number 2.
Also a hit.
And arrow number 3.
Not a hit. So
And we decided he is evil.
yeah, he's definitely evil. The Bodak? Yeah, they're evil.
So 12d6 plus 9.
Ooh, cha. I got to take up archery. All right, well, it hurt him. It didn't kill him.
Okay.
All right, is that it for you?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Bardos.
I'm just running.
You're running through. Okay, so you're still, I think, one more round. Do you come up to the edge where Gatto is? Or are you one round behind him?
Well, I stopped to do a spell, so I only did
okay.
a half a move.
All right, so you're one round behind him. Okay, cool. Keeping running. Fletcher, what do you do?
Well, I first need to kill evil dude standing in front of me here.
I would
Getting in
think
the
so.
way.
Yep.
29. So I take a swing at him.
That's a hit.
With a 5. With a 5, he kills him.
39. Not quite dead,
Ugh.
but very close. So that's a hit. That'll kill him. He's got only 5 hit points left. So he goes down.
Confirm.
Now my I get a third attack.
No, it's not a Verm because he still had 44 hit points, which was greater than 10%. So Dan does not get a Verm. Although Dan got a Verm last night, so on the big board. And Eric got 2 Verms last night.
So,
He murdered a bunch of wargs.
So Les, I have one more attack.
Right.
I would like to swing at the guy on the ground.
Okay, which you can. Now he is prone. What do
I
you
get a plus?
Yes, you get +4 to hit. What do you? I mean, just like chopping into him.
Well, yeah. Is it hard for me to like aim for chopping his head off, as an example?
You could try to.
Okay, we'll try for that.
All right, you're gonna try and chop his head off, and you rolled a 30. Is that?
30.
Am I reading that right?
Yeah.
So that is better than his armor class. And did you add the +4?
Yes.
Okay, so that is a hit. Do your damage. Let's see if you do damage. All right, so max damage and so a lot of damage. 46 points of damage. So yeah, his head pops off and rolls across the deck.
Do I notice anything else happen?
Well, the lights go out again, and his hand is still, although his hand is still clenched on the halberd, but those eye lights are out again.
Okay.
He doesn't have blood per se. It's like this cold blue-black goo that's pouring out of his neck hole.
Ooh, well, obviously I'll try to stay away from that.
Yeah, don't get that on you. He seems pretty dead. I mean, his head's off. So at that point, so
next turn I'm going to go grab the head and make sure. But for now, that's good enough.
Okay, let's finish out the round. Actually, there's no more combat. So we fall out of initiative.
And
fall out of initiative. All right, you have his head. It's still, so his head is like freezing cold, like dry ice. So you can't really hold on to it unless you've got resistance, which I think you do actually. So yeah, I mean, so what do you do? I mean, the head is probably. I mean, he's 7.5 feet tall, so his head's pretty big. But he does not. You don't.
Lothar or Flash Art and say, this guy started to come back to life.
Not really. He came back to undeath.
Can I do knowledge? Would I have knowledge of this? I assume I would either.
Give me a knowledge religion.
Okay. Double check that for me. One check. Where's my old knowledge religion? Oh yeah. Okay. Here we go. Still have the 11 D10s going on here. On my that was ignore that roll.
Don't you? I mean, so what's your bonus?
It's 11. So I'm just rolling here.
What's 11?
So a 19.
Yes.
You're not sure, but this guy was more than an anti-paladin. You get that. You're not sure. You don't know of any power that allows them to sort of come back, but he could. I mean, you're looking at him. He could be undead. I mean, he could be an undead paladin, and he could be something else as well. So you're like, something of this power. You just don't know. You've never heard of something like this, but there's much in this world on the abyss that you have never encountered before.
Now, let me get this straight. Aren't all paladins originally from one of the good gods or whatever, and then they somehow turn against the light?
Nope.
Not always. Sometimes the evil gods have their own champions, and they can become anti-paladins. Now, it's not a playable class; it's an NPC class only, but it does happen.
Yeah, that first campaign I played in, I was pretty sure I was playing with 3 or 4 anti-paladins.
Could be.
Wasn't Mub an anti-paladin?
No.
Culture for sure.
All right, so you guys, so you guys essentially, so there's a several bodies on the thing. Fletcher, what do you do with the head?
He's not there.
Oh, That's why he's not answering. Okay, I was just wondering. All right, so you guys can see. So the body of the paladin. So you guys all get to the boat, and you climb aboard. There's several boat actors still on the boat. I'm assuming you just throw those guys off. Grab their bodies and chuck them off. The anti-paladin is a little bit different. He still radiates a phenomenal amount of cold, and if you guys don't have any sort of protection from that, I mean, Fletcher does, but unless anybody else does, I mean, you're going to be reluctant to grab him. Probably could take some damage just by grabbing his body. Now he does radiate a fair amount of magic. So what does Storm do?
She's got DR 15 against cold, so.
Okay. Well, then what is she going to just like push him over the edge into the water?
Don't know, just whatever everybody says. Probably her and Fletcher need to search his body.
Yeah.
Well, Bardos would tell you that it does. There's a couple of things on his body that radiate a fair amount of magic.
Like the weapon.
That weapon radiates a ton of magic, but it also radiates. I mean, flash art. I mean, you can tell that is an unholy weapon. I mean, you still feel this. You could still feel the strikes from that unholy, beastly weapon of Baphomet.
This dude was a Nazgul here.
Kind of, a little bit, yeah.
You don't like it.
Dibs. Did you mean to send that just to Les?
No, that was everybody.
Have to see.
There's no whispering in that one.
But what's that for?
Those are just spellcraft checks to figure out what kind of magic's going on here.
Before we get to we'll do the halberd last. So before we get to that, he's wearing plate mail under these like robes and stuff, and it radiates a lot of magic. But it's a full set of plate mail sized for a guy 7.5 feet tall. As you look at this guy, you're not sure he's entirely human. Maybe once, but not anymore. But it's a big sort of set of plate mail.
Magic armor will size.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is also covered with engraved symbols of Baphomet.
That's a problem.
He has a headband on that radiates a fair amount of augmentation magic that you do identify, and it is a headband of alluring charisma +3. For those of you who like to be beautiful.
It's me.
That would benefit Flashheart most.
Dibs.
Or any charisma casters.
Yeah.
Is there any charisma
That
casters?
sounds like Flash Heart.
Yeah, me.
Mm.
No, I'll let Flashheart have it.
The halberd is
You sure?
+2. It is +2 keen, but it's an unholy weapon. Flashheart won't even come near it.
That thing is +2, and it put me down
Well,
like that. Oh.
he zaps a lot of powers into it. As an anti-paladin, he has a thing that he does that turns it into that very quickly as a free action. Where is it? I'll find it. But it turns it into a +5 keen halberd. That's what hit you.
Especially against other paladins.
He uses fiendish boon to enhance his halberd to +5
Jesus. Yeah, that's what I thought.
before combat.
Ouch.
So that's what hit you, and he critted. So it's keen too. So he has extended crit range. He crits on a 1920. So that's how he got you. So it was the crit that really did you in. But yeah, but it's an unholy weapon, dedicated to Baphomet, covered with unholy symbols. Flashheart, your eyes hurt just looking at it.
Yeah, I don't want anything to do with that. I will take did I hear that right? That I got the charisma thing? The charisma was a headband?
Headband of alluring charisma +3.
Right.
Headband of alluring. I'm seeing so many different headbands I could be wearing right now. I gotta come up with a good one.
And that's really it. He doesn't have anything else on his body. Just the armor, the weapon, and the headband. Although you do find as you start, I mean, I'm assuming at some point you guys get Storm to sort of strip the armor off of him. Underneath, you find a platinum holy symbol of Baphomet. That it's almost like cross to a vampire for Flash. He's like, oh, it's Baphometian, get that away from me. But it's made out of platinum, and to the right person who would be willing to, I don't know, carry that with them, they could probably be worth about, 250 gold pieces to the right guy.
Yeah, it can be melted down.
Melted down.
Or just
I would
worn.
Or sold as is for more money.
Yeah, back in Illusion era. Some
No,
half
I'll
a
give you
millions
250
there.
gold now to throw it overboard. All right.
I'd gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today.
Here's an old reference.
But yeah, so that's essentially what he has.
So what was the armor?
+3 plate, full plate, greaves, gauntlets, everything. +3, and it radiates in a 10-foot radius cold.
Oh, so the cold was coming from the armor, not him.
Yeah.
And the glaive.
If no one wants that, I said that's gonna be expensive. We can put that in our stuff to break and be able to build stuff with it.
Flashheart does not want to know or have any part of that. But he wishes you well.
Doke. Should we
All
start
right.
exploring?
You guys gonna check out the boat? You don't. There's no other creatures left on the boat. You do see, and I'll just you know what I'm gonna do is take off the thing here. Hold on a second, so you guys can see. There's essentially a 2-room pilot house that exists in the back. That's where the guy was. You go in there, and it's really rough inside. Hold on a second. I'm gonna just turn that off.
That 30 is for Flashheart.
Oh, thank you.
So the pilot house is, so this is like a little storage area. There's not much in there. You know, some broken wood, that kind of stuff. It looks like maybe the boat axe may have been bedding down in there at various times. So there's like wood and trash kind of like piled up. In this room, though, this is very different. This is obviously the captain's room. There's there's like a captain's chair sort of pushed off in the corner and a big steering wheel right there. The window is sort of beginning to defrost. But you can see that that frost and rime wasn't the only thing on that window. There's a lot of blood around all this room, and you can tell that this was his room because now that all the frost and everything is sort of thawing out, because it's quite warm here on this island. Now that that's all going away, you can see this is really a repugnant lair. There's a lot of old blood and soil and broken, you know, things. And you think they were sort of all bunkered down. All these undeads were sort of bunkered down in here. And it was hard to see. With a little bit of cleaning, you should be able to see through the viewport and be able to steer the ship. So my question to you guys is, at this point, you've taken the boat. You haven't checked out the hold yet. But you're stuck on top of the sandbar.
No, we have a Fletcher.
So
has Storm or somebody flipped the headless
So-
body off into the water?
no, but she will as soon as someone tells her to.
Yeah. Well, you've stripped it of magic items, right? So
We had to take everything off first and check it
Yeah.
right.
What are you doing with the halberd? And who's touching it?
And I will if you need me to, but I don't want to.
He said innocently.
yeah.
I think Gatto's the only one that can.
Who were the two guys that
It's
tried
fine,
to open the chest when we were on the wharf? Who were those two guys? Was that Bardo? Sid?
That took all day.
Those guys are not in charge of moving the boat off the rocks.
Took 27 rounds to open a crate. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
here's the deal: before you enlarge Storm, she can push or drag 36,000 pounds.
Well, like on a good day.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I can push or drag 3,500. To be clear.
I can push or drag 40 pounds. But I usually push or drag nothing. 0
Like I said,
pounds.
with her size and
Well, she has no problem pushing him over. He probably weighs.
no, I'm talking about the boat.
Yeah.
Oh,
So the question is,
Together, we can move 7,000 pounds.
there appears to be an anchor.
No. She's 36,000
It
pounds.
doesn't.
Oh, 36,000. No, I'm only 3,500.
There appears to be an anchor at the front of the ship. Is that correct?
there is something on the a big winch with a cable
I
that
was
goes
gonna
off
say,
into the
Dale.
water.
Yeah.
So it's possible that Storm could pull the anchor out of the water or whatever's on the other end of that line.
Mm-hmm.
And then if the winch is locked, is Storm powerful enough to hold onto that rope and fly up to basically lift the front of the ship off of the sandbar? Or up and in our case, due west to sort of push it backwards off the sandbar?
Possible.
She can only lift 7,200 pounds up when she's trying to lift something off the ground.
Right. But at this
That's
point, more than 50% of the boat is in water. So it's not like you're trying to lift the whole ship out of the water. You're just trying to lift that one end off of the sandbar and then fly west to push it back into the water. And the further she's successful at that, the more of the ship is floating and the less of it's causing a drag.
To be honest, if she just lifted up that one end, if she couldn't do it by herself, then you could have Fletcher on that end pushing as well while she's lifting a lot of the weight off of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, between the two of them, that's 10,000 pounds worth of force. 7,000 going up, and then he pushes 3,000 pushing.
But we also need to check the hold, because if there's nothing heavy in the hold, that makes a difference. If there is something heavy in the hold, then that increases the weight that we're dealing with.
Right.
Yeah, I'm
What's the
trying to
hold?
figure out how much this weighs. So the hold is indeed empty.
Okay.
You can see there's what looks to be some some remnants of what look to be maybe rocks. It's pretty dirty down there, and you do see the body of one Bodak who's down sort of directly underneath where he fell in. So he's like right about
Les, when you're calculating the weight, we're going to need that in coinage.
it weighs 10 bazillion coins. So that guy's at the bottom. The hold is about probably another 10 or 12 feet down. Lothar, you're peeking in there. You can see, there's the body, but otherwise empty. You can see where like some loose rocks around there. But you also get the feeling that there might be some magical dust or some other material down there, because there is some radiation magic or magic radiating up from down there. It's very diffuse. It could be just dust, some sort of magical dust.
Or it could be the dust we're looking for.
That's a Bardos thing.
Actually, Frida might know something about it too.
Ah, okay.
Isn't this the dust from the?
Got other stuff down there. Can I use my little Tentavial scale to
Float down there? Yeah, if you want. It's the hold is empty. So the basically the bottom of the boat is pretty empty. There's a few rocks and stuff lying around, but there's this dust all over everything that radiates like a diffuse kind of magic. And Bardos, if you take a look at that, you will recognize this pretty quickly as Nihydrian crystal dust.
That's what I figured it was.
Your expectation is that this boat was used to run several, if not dozens of loads of Nihydrian ore or Nihydrian crystal, and just through the rocks sort of cranking against each other as the boat rocked, it ground some of this Nihydrian crystal and ore into dust, which has now covered the bottom of the hold. Your guess is, and you would actually stop Farina, you're like, you may not want to go down there, because Nihydrian, you know that Nihydrian crystals are bad for you. Nihydrian dust, if you breathe it in, could be like beryllium, man.
I'm going to say that. I'm going to share that.
So can we close that? Is there another door there? Or is it broken off?
Yeah, you could close it if you want. Do you want to go down there and get the guy out first? Get him out off the boat?
Well, he's dead, right?
Yeah, he's very dead. Full
So
of arrows.
I figure we just close the door so we're not subject to the dust.
Okay.
And then try to get the ship off the sandbar.
Okay. You just slam it shut. Boom.
It's probably a tide here, right, Les? It's high tide, low tide that would help us. I mean,
There's
we do
some
have
movement. Certainly there's water moving, and it's moving sort of in this direction. So it is a river. So it's moving away. It's moving toward the place you come. So you guys have been moving upriver. So the direction of the river is sort of in that general direction of this arrow.
So that means the boat would float naturally in the wrong direction.
If it was, yeah, released. So it does need some propulsion, which you guys don't necessarily have.
And it doesn't have a sail.
It's not a sailboat. You're Lothar. I don't know. Does anybody have profession sailing?
No. Well, I don't, but
No.
That could be trouble.
well, again, we have an anchor with a rope.
I only dog paddle.
No, I'm thinking more along the lines of Storm. If he holds that rope and flies,
Yeah, she can.
she can be our propulsion.
7,200 pounds, so she can put 7,200 pounds of pressure on a boat in water.
Right.
Hey, Les, I got a question.
Mhm.
Is this tide out or is the tide in?
That's a good question, Jennifer.
It's
gotta
a
be honest with
river.
you.
There's not a lot of tide.
Yeah, it's not a ton. It's a river.
Okay, well, sometimes they move with tides.
Rivers
in.
have tides. I sit on the demo.
Your
like
guess,
this,
your
and there's
guess is
tides.
that where it is now, that the tide isn't sufficient to move this boat off of the sandbar. It's probably.
And this is a plain of hell too, so there might not be tides here. I don't know.
But
Yeah, it could be the abyss. I don't know. They didn't give me any tide information.
we could have a dragon powered boat.
Hey, dragon powers you got in there.
Shut up, guys.
I believe you said dragon powers.
Best I could find online is I found an 80-foot sailboat that's about 30,000 pounds.
Okay. Well, this is made of metal. It's not that long. So I'm guessing, I'm thinking that depending on how you guys did this, it might be possible for a couple of, I mean, if if Storm could exercise 7,200 pounds of pressure, it's possible that he's going to be able to move it off the
Like I said,
sand.
if she could get on land and just push against it, she says she can push 36,000 pounds, like just scoot it along the ground.
Well, that would be probably more than sufficient to get it off the sandbar. The problem that you guys are facing now is, how do you make this boat go upstream?
Yeah, the current's against us.
Right, and she can fly and pull, and she can exert at a heavy load 7,200 pounds of thrust.
Okay.
I don't know how much it takes to move a big boat that size in water.
Can we before we put Storm to the test? Can we figure out how they were going to do it? I mean, how does this boat move? Yeah, before
Nobody's got boat skills.
Well, it doesn't have any obvious like sails or row or oars or anything like that. You will notice as you kind of go around that there is a coil of chain and an anchor at the back of the boat. So potentially whatever this thing is, I mean, this is a winch of sorts. I mean, it has cranks on it. So, I mean, it could be another anchor, could be something else. But other than that, you don't see any sort of, propulsion system.
I think we should crank that up to see what's down there, because what if we find out the propulsion is a giant blue lobster below us or something? We should probably know that before we take off. This is the abyss and all.
Be one heck of a big lobster tail.
Yep.
Maybe it's a sea whale,
A river whale.
a river
Let's
whale.
Unless somebody's going to ask me to stop, I'm going to start winching on one of these winches. You said there's two?
It could be a ferry, right? I mean, it could just be a ferry that's pulled up and down with a chain somewhere.
Yeah.
Could be.
I'm going to start winching on it. You say there's two winches or one?
Well, there's two sides to the winch, and if you're probably going to need some help if you want to winch whatever winch it up, because you can't do both at the same time.
I'll ask Fletcher the Barbarian to assist. See those muscles.
All right, so Fletcher, you and Flashheart begin winching the winch back up.
Yep.
All right, so as you're winching, you do feel like that there's you start winching and at first there's some slack in the winch, and you're just like, well, this is going to be easy, and then it's like, whoa, there's something on the end of this thing, and you start kind of like pushing forward, and it's heavy, but it is coming up to the surface now. And by saying it is coming up to the surface, it's you are winching it up to the surface. It doesn't seem to be moving on its own. Hold on a second, I got to do something real quick.
Hey, Don.
A giant abyssal catfish.
Even being a summoner, my water elementals only last 12 minutes at a time.
Oh, okay.
So I can do like 7 or 8 of those a day.
But you're using them all up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Each time. But yeah, I can do that and definitely propel us that way.
Okay, so you guys keep cranking on this thing, and it's becoming difficult and that kind of stuff, and then suddenly you get to the end, and you see this.
Ooh.
The winch is attached to what looks to be the skeleton of some sort of spider-like creature. It's enormous, and it has multiple legs and some sort of mandible. At least it's what you can tell from the thing, or what it looks like. Let's just hold on a second. We'll take a look at this close up. So it looks kind of like that. I guess that's not much better, but
bigger.
Yeah, it's not much bigger. But yeah, so it is a skeleton of a creature. You're not sure what has happened to it, but you've been able to winch it up. It's not moving or anything, but it is dead weight on the end of that winch, and you can see it looks like it's the chain of the winch is sort of wrapped around its abdomen and sort of tied up there. Your guess? I mean, nobody has profession sailor.
Nope.
Okay.
It sounds like a keel haul.
Your guess is that this might have been the propulsion system, that this creature would have maybe crawled along the bottom of the river and dragged the boat.
Oh. Interesting.
It's possible.
So Storm looks at that thing, looks at the straps we've got all over her, and looks back at that thing.
Storm's like, no.
We talked about this, and I said no.
Although, if you do strap her to this, it does fly you in. When you guys reach the mines, and that's at that point, Hepsamir will be like, "Do you guys hear that? Somebody's surfing." All right.
Although Matt said that was far too classy for this group, so you might want to cue up the Benny Hill theme. We can use that.
That I have.
That's probably more accurate.
I think maybe Dukes of Hazzard, the General Lee leaping over things. That sound.
So Fletcher, you guys, there's a lock on the winch, and you just sort of like put the thing so you can look at this thing. It's just dragging down. I mean, it's heavy, and if you were to release the winch, it would sink right back to the bottom. Based on how much you have winched, you're guessing that the bottom is about in front there, probably 20 to 25 feet.
Less. Mm-hmm. Can I detect undead on it?
Sure.
Is that even a skill? Okay. Does it seem to be undead in some way?
It does not seem to be undead. It just seems to be dead. It doesn't radiate any kind of like undead kind of qualities. Your guess is that something happened. They ran aground, and this creature could not get them off of the sandbar or anything, and died underwater, and essentially served as a anchor.
Well, if we cut him free, we're going to probably slip off this sandbar then. But then we'll need
certainly make it easier.
Yeah. So I say we.
What
cut
about
this. Go ahead.
No, you say you cut this. Go ahead, and then I'll.
I was going to say let's cut this creature free, and then see if we can push this backwards off the sandbar. If it was serving as an anchor.
How long is
then
the?
we figure out propulsion.
Yeah. How long is the cable on the winch?
Sorry.
How long is the cable on the winch?
About, you have to guess because it's not paid out, but you're guessing 50, 60 feet of chain, big linked chain. And that's not including the amount that's wrapped around the body of the creature. So you're probably guessing maybe 80 feet total.
So in Pathfinder, are sharks saltwater or freshwater? And if they are neither, but this is a freshwater river, can a huge shark maybe pull us?
We're in the abyss.
Theoretically, sure. I mean, so sharks, since it's a fantasy world, if a summon shark, you can summon a river shark or a sea shark or what have you. The problem with this water is that it's absolutely poisonous to normal things.
Absolutely poisonous.
Yeah, and the farther you
That's
get
the
up the
giant
river,
spider.
the more poisonous it becomes.
Yeah, Nihydrain, among other things, is in the river, right? This is like
Mm.
this the
Like when
spill,
you
the
say
spoilage
great
from the
poisonous,
mill.
what kind of fortitude does it need to roll to live, to survive? Like
To live. So,
poison.
all right. So let me get back to that point now. This is an answer I know, or I have actually.
I mean, what do we want to do with the boat? Do we want to move the boat? Do we give a shit about the boat? Why do we want to move the boat?
We
Here?
came to the boat because we thought that's the easiest way to get to where we're going.
So here we go.
There's nastiness in the air and there's nastiness in the forest leading up there.
So the waters of this river are poisoned. They dilute as they empty into the sea, but inland they can be deadly even to the touch. The water itself exudes a foul, sulfurous stench that makes the eyes water and the throat sting. And ingesting or being fully immersed in it actually gives you a -4 penalty on saving throws against the poison. It is and I'll just give it to you. It is a Fortitude DC 22 poison that has a variety of interesting things that it does to you if you drink this water.
So a huge shark has a fortitude of +11, so it's basically have a +7. So it needs to have a 22. So that means you have to roll a 15 or above. And if it died, could we heal it back? Bring it back to life?
Well, when a summoned creature dies, it immediately is transported back to the place from which it was summoned.
So we would just have to
if it
summon
died
it
of the
into-
poison, it would like disappear. Yeah. So I mean, I don't. If it didn't die from the poison, was just poisoned, but didn't immediately die, you could potentially heal it. The problem is you're not 100% sure of what this poison does to people.
How long? Like how often would it have to save? Like is it like a once a minute kind of thing, or
Well,
once a day?
that's another question. You could potentially, if you have alchemical skill or can take a sample, you might be able to do some experimentation on it. You have alchemical skill, right, Jennifer?
Why I do have alchemical spells. What? Yeah, skills.
So if you were to do an alchemistry check, get a sample of this stuff and do a little magic, a little reagent action on that stuff, you might be able to get a lot more information about what exactly this poison would do to somebody.
A good skill check would do that.
Yes.
Okay.
Also, if you were of the morally ambivalent sort of fellow, you might be able to capture a sample of this and use it as poison on people. Sounds like a paladin thing.
Yeah, it's not really for me.
Here, drink this. It's good for you.
Try it out. Let me see how you feel. Tell me how you're feeling right now. How about now? Okay, so here's a alchemical skill check.
All right. So you fish down, you get a sample of this stuff. You're being very careful with it. Ooh, 28. So yeah, so this poison is very virulent. The fortitude save is DC 22. You have to make a fortitude save once every round for 6 rounds. So essentially, to avoid the effects of this poison, you have to make 6 fortitude 22 saves. The effect is con damage and nausea. And to cure yourself once you're out of the poison takes 2 consecutive saves. So if you take damage to get the cure, you have to take 2 consecutive saves. So it's virulent.
How long is the round?
6 seconds.
The round?
6 seconds.
And the creature can swim 60 feet per round.
Yeah, but I mean, you guys are pretty far from the mine. Your guess is. I mean, you can check back at the map that Nocticula gave you. Let's just take a quick look here. So you guys are like right here. The mine is way over here. So it's probably another 8 miles downstream.
And taking storm is out of the question because the air is so noxious that storm will go down. Is that the idea?
Well, it depends. The problem with oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, storm will be fine. She'll be up in the air. The problem is she couldn't be too far up in the air because the whole point we didn't fly there is because we know there's rocks and stuff up high, and we're trying not to get their attention. So I don't know what she'd have to do to basically keep pulling us out forward and staying no more than probably, I think, Les, didn't you say the canopy is about 50 or 60 feet up?
Yeah, about 60 feet. If you go higher than that, higher than the tree canopy, almost
Then-
certainly you're going to get the attention of what
Right.
are dozens of rocks flying around.
Right, so she'd want to keep down no more than 40 or 50 feet in the air while pulling forward. She's done it before. We've used her to fly for several hours at a time. So this would be no different than her doing that. She's just, instead of having us hanging off of her, she's just grabbed a chain and she's pulling the boat forward. Actually, I would imagine 7,200 pounds of force on a boat this size would probably have that boat moving through the water at a pretty good clip.
Mm-hmm. I think it would. I mean, yeah.
I mean, I could summon an arrow hawk. That's one of the biggest things I can do. A large arrow hawk that can help. Maybe speed us along a little quicker.
Are they small? Aren't the air hawks pretty small comparatively, though?
Large outsider.
Okay.
Size, let's see here. It doesn't really tell you how big they are.
Problem is they don't last that long, Jennifer, with your summon
Yeah.
spells. They just don't last long.
Yeah, they last for rounds.
So that's not really an option. I mean, Grimdark can summon and it lasts longer, but it's only minutes, right?
Right.
Like,
So yeah, everything I summon lasts 12 minutes. And I can do, I think, it's either 7 or 8 of those a day.
one thing we can do, we can enlarge Storm, and that might make him either fly faster or quicker, maybe. I don't know. But then it might be more visible too. But
Right.
this boat's, it's seen on this river, so maybe the rocks wouldn't necessarily think it was out of place, that it was moving again. But who knows?
What's storm speed normally?
It's 60, but it wouldn't even be that. She can't pull it.
She can't
that
pull it.
fast.
Yeah. So I'm thinking half. The fastest I think Storm would be able to drag this thing once she gets up to speed is probably half. So that would be.
So 30 feet around.
Yeah, I'm doing the math here. So it's divided by 5,280. So it's about 3.5 miles an hour, which would get you close to the mine in a couple of hours.
And yeah, she can fly for a couple hours, no problem.
But if you're
We do
talking about
haste
summons,
speed up.
even if you do 8 summons of 12 minutes apiece, how many? It's 96 minutes.
Yeah, that's an hour.
I don't know, unless they could move the boat a lot faster.
Well, it would be large or huge air or water elementals.
Okay, water elementals. They would still be dragging a boat, so it's going to be half. So
Right.
what's a water elementals? Let's just
Snow speed.
Well, the
Yeah.
other question is, if we have Storm doing the pulling, and you augment that with water elementals doing pushing,
I can't. I can only
summon
have
it.
oh, you
her
can only have
summon,
one or the other.
or I can,
Well, I can-
do summoning spells.
Yeah.
I'm doing it. I've only got nature. I can't do elementals.
So the water elementals could push the boat at 90 because they have a swim speed, or I'm sorry, 45 because they have a swim speed of 90. So that would certainly upgun you. That would get you there in probably an hour and a half. But can you keep a water elemental around for an hour and a half?
Is that medium or large or small?
That's greater.
Yeah.
That's
I can do a
huge.
medium for.
Medium's our size.
Well, the problem is I don't know that multiple elementals would add to the speed. Potentially, I guess.
They must.
Sure. Yeah, it would be.
They're
Yeah, I
exerting
guess
force.
that's why people have dual outboards, right?
Right.
Jennifer, elementals are on the Summon Nature's Ally list.
Yeah, I'm looking at it too. Water elemental,
Okay.
but I can only do a medium.
All
Yeah,
right.
I can do a large.
Well, show off.
It's kind of my thing.
He's a summoner, yeah.
He's a summoner's. It's what I do.
Put all his points into that.
Yeah. So yeah, the thing is if I do that, we get there faster, but I burn through all of my summons,
Yeah.
which I typically don't use because I prefer to have Storm there, but we have had times where Storm got killed and I had to revert to them to actually augment combat. And if
Right.
those are all gone, I'll be a complete liability in combat. to
Can't
you
we
guys.
chill when we get there? Can't we like dig a hole in the ground and use one of Brina's little nests and get our spells back?
I think we might need to do that now, actually. I know Barlos has spent a lot of spells in the last.
Wouldn't hurt me either.
I don't have a ton of spells gone.
It
Wouldn't hurt
wouldn't
me either.
hurt me either to rest a while.
Are we on the clock at all, or can we rest?
We're always on the clock.
Well, so far as you know, no one at the mine is aware that you're here, right? So Nocticula teletransported you guys over to the mouth of the river, and she did this purposefully so that you guys wouldn't immediately set off the alarms, because you know you're going into a place that has a couple of demons in it, right? Hepsamira at the very least, and probably some other bad guys. This is the primary Nihydrian mine on this plane. This is going to be a challenge. I mean, you just fought an anti-paladin that almost took your paladin completely out. The challenges are ramping up. But Nocticulus sent you here at the mouth of the river, knowing that you sort of have to travel across land, but it would be stealthier, right? That you could maybe get past any guards, either by deception or by killing them. In this case, you killed these guys. That was sort of the idea, is that you sleaze up on these guys rather than, the frontal assault.
Well, we can do a sub and hideaway now and get some strength back. That's probably smart.
The hold of the boat is probably perfect for that. It's secure.
Except it's full of Nihydrian crystal dust.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
The boathouse.
I mean,
or
can we roll for mutant powers if we stay the night down there?
If you live, but that does end the module though.
Yeah,
that does end the module.
The pilot house maybe.
Pilot house is gross, but it could be cleaned out. I mean,
hard pass.
Well, doesn't Bardos have like a clean cantrip that does away with like everything?
Oh yeah, I forgot. I was up a bug's rectum trying to rescue.
I was gonna say you got shat by a bug and were perfectly clean the next minute.
Yeah.
Everything on the outside anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been trying to forget those memories.
I have a feeling when this AP is over, you guys are going to be back in Dresden sitting around a tavern table looking like those four hobbits after the big war of the rings, like looking at each other like, we can't go home.
Our paladins in therapy.
They all are.
I think our paladin started out in therapy, honestly.
True enough.
I sent you his backstory there.
That's what makes him so resilient.
Yep.
All right. So, so theoretically between prestigitation and create water, you guys could get these two rooms pretty well cleaned out, at least cleaned out enough that you could feel secure that you would be able to get some rest and overnight travel. You're pretty sure that they don't know you're here. And this place doesn't look like it's been dealt with. I mean, it doesn't look like anybody's been here for a while except for these guys. So you're not sure whether they're waiting for them to come back and get another load, or they got fired and didn't know what else to do, or what. But this boat has been used to take Nihydrian crystals away from the mines. You do know that. And now it's been here abandoned, but it doesn't look like it's been abandoned for decades. I mean, it's just gross.
Kind of a heavy hitter just to be sitting around on a boat with a bunch of undead dudes.
Good point. Now you will remember that when you first observed this ship, the undead guys were sort of going through the motions of being like sailing, of like moving the boat, but they weren't doing it. It was weird. It was sort of like they were just sort of going through the motions of, unloading cargo, swabbing the decks, or, doing sailory stuff, whatever that might be. You're not sure why this boat's here, frankly.
I still don't. Why it's attached to a big undead spider, dead spider.
Some sort of spider-like creature, you're not sure, but your guess is, I mean, based on what you can see here, is that it probably died in the water and then rotted away, and that's why you're seeing a skeleton rather than a creature.
Well, I'm guessing if you employ undead employees, undead staff, they're probably not known as being all that reliable.
Potentially, yeah.
So they probably know this boat beached and just bailed on it.
You mean the people who would otherwise use it?
Yeah, the demon people who are dealing with the mine.
Could be, or they found a different way, and
Yeah, I don't know that this is necessarily like a linchpin to their organization, right?
right. But if it was, somebody would be here already and sorted it out.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
have fixed it. Otherwise, they've left it here for however long it's been left here with undead people going through the motions.
Well, we help take care of it.
Hey, guys, would it be possible for us to disguise ourselves as these undead or that big paladin and sail up river so that if they do see us, we're not just a bunch of primes, you know,
Well,
out of their place?
I think our mode of transportation with Storm flying out front might
Yeah.
be a way that we're not
Be a little bit of a giveaway.
Well, if the bird flies ahead, Ziggy, and finds out approximately where someone is, can we at that time not have Storm flying us ahead and just use one of the elementals to push us the last bit?
Yeah.
Or what if Storm is invisible?
Yeah, I don't know how
Do
long.
major image. I'm not sure how long that lasts. Let me see.
Now I'm getting some more Apocalypse Out Now vibes here. We're going to be going up the Delta in a gunboat.
I'm sure nothing bad will happen.
We're coming for you, Kurtz.
You're not crusaders. You're grocery clerks sent to collect a bill. You fancy yourself crusaders?
I can do a major image illusion to make it look like it's the other thing, you know, the old undead ones.
Well, and you could, I mean, so
Can
you
do
know what, you also know what the anti-paladin looked like, and you have his armor. I don't know, maybe Don's onto something. You could dress the guy up, dress up somebody, Fletcher maybe,
I can just
major image.
do an illusion.
Yeah.
I can do an illusion on the whole thing. I've got, let's see, 4 10-foot cubes and 1 10-foot cube per level.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's like 140 square, 140
Did
10-foot
the
cube.
anti-paladin never talk to anybody?
Oh, he
Do you
did.
know what his voice sounds like?
He talks some trash.
He talked some trash.
He's like, "I'm undead."
He said, "You're
Yeah.
mine," and then he said to Fletcher, "Do you wish to be next?" After he put down, after he slapped Flashheart like a baby.
And Fletcher
Fletcher
said, "I'm your Huck."
replied, nope.
Yeah. Fletcher
So
said,
good.
"I'm your Huckleberry."
Can your illusions make noise also? Can it talk?
Yeah, it's a round of major illusion. So yeah, I can do everything.
Okay.
Yeah,
How long's it
major
thermal.
image, sound, smell, thermal. While concentrating, you can move it.
And how long does it last?
Concentration plus 3 rounds.
So if the rest of us, if we all hide like in the cabin,
Yeah. Everybody stays in there.
we can
He
have
does
these
the illusion.
illusions out
He
here.
does the illusion the whole time, and then
Yeah, I can extend it out to hide Storm somehow, make him
yeah, as big as the area you've got, yeah, you can make it
disappear
look like
somehow.
a fly.
So,
like
so
nothing.
have Siggy fly ahead to find out approximately when we start needing to do this illusion.
Well, I've got 10 charges, so I can do it 10 times, and it's concentration. So I mean, I can concentrate for an hour and do it
Or
the
yeah,
whole length.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
how long it takes.
As long as your concentration is not broken.
Right.
Okay.
And it's concentration plus 3, right? So
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
after you stop.
So once he
concentrating-
starts, don't tap him on the shoulder and say, "Hey Bardos, hey Bardos, hey Bardos."
You can just see him go like straight in here. All right, so you got a couple of things you guys got to accomplish. One, you got to get the boat off of the sandbar. 2, you got to figure out a method of propulsion, what's going to work and what's not going to be subject to the poison of the river, which Farina has determined is pretty bad. And 3rd, you've got an illusion to get you past any interstitial guards as you make your way up into the mine, if they exist. Is that accurate?
Yep.
All right. So
Okay.
first things first, what are you going to do to get off the sandbar?
Push.
Storm's gonna stand here on the sandbar.
We haven't cut
And-
this dead creature
push the
yet,
boat
dead
that
creature
way.
yet. We got to cut the dead creature for loose first.
Yeah, you have to loose the.
Okay,
if you-
well,
if you
get as
cut
much
it-
chain as
Oh, I was going to say, go ahead. Go ahead.
get as much chain as we can from it, and then cut it.
You just have to untie it, basically, right? Just
Okay, untie it.
figure out where how to tie it.
But how? How are you going to tie it?
How's it tied?
Well, it's wrapped around him 3 times and sort of like cranked on him. I mean, it's not tied sophisticatedly.
If we
but,
get them to the surface,
but
if
it's a
we get
big
'em to the
chain. I
surface-
mean,
if we get it to the surface, can Storm grab it and then drop it off here?
oh, keep in mind that it has been immersed in the river.
Okay, yeah, we don't want to touch it.
It's poison.
Hey, just cut the chain?
Potentially, but how?
I hand Flashheart this +2 halberd.
Oh God.
Here, use
Yeah,
this.
okay.
Ow!
Ow, ow.
It's like a handshake buzzer. Psst, ow, no! I just lost a level because of that.
Permanently.
Can we cut through it with our combined arms here? I mean,
Like
doesn't
sword,
Fletcher
like
have,
swords and axes
Yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah, eventually. It
And
takes
acid
time.
and-
It takes
Yeah,
time, but yeah.
Does
you
anyone have acid?
We
No,
all
but-
have acid, don't we?
you want to drop some acid?
can- oh yeah.
Nobody got some. Whoa.
Said,
Dude, the chain just separated, man. I saw it.
Lothar, I wanted to ask one thing somebody else brought up was sending Siggy upriver to sort of scope the things out. Do you do that or
Yeah, he has aerial recon.
okay? So he's going to stay low along
He's-
the river.
Well, there are two options. One, he's very stealthy.
Okay.
That's
Good
where
point.
all
Ow,
of his
that's
points
a good
have
point.
gone, right? The other option is if Bardos could give him invisibility, then he's even more stealthy, basically.
An invisible owl? Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be hard to spot.
Yeah, because you can't hear them, right? So
You can't hear him either. Yeah, no, I think an invisible owl. That's like that's
Okay,
probably like the ultimate.
yeah, as far as the chain is concerned, I have a spell called Burning Disarm,
What does that
and
do?
it causes a metal object to instantly become red hot. So normally you would do it on somebody holding a sword. They'd have to make a reflex save or drop it. But
Yep.
if you cause the metal to become red hot and then strike it, it should break fairly
It'll be
easily.
brittle.
Mhm,
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Or
could
we can
work.
hit it with
Plan.
cold, too.
I like this
Instantly
plan.
hit it with cold.
So
I'm
if
excited to
you,
be part of this plan.
if you want to try to break the chain where it is to sort of release this dead weight creature, then I can cause
You know
it
what
to
might
heat
be
up.
easier? It might be easier just to sever the head or wherever it's tied to. Wherever the chain is tied to bone, the bone will be much easier to break. So if it's around a leg or whatever, just sever that.
Yeah, the problem with
there.
that is it's in the water.
I thought
So
we
you
pulled
don't-
it out.
Well, it's on the
No,
surface.
but if you
I mean,
grab it, it's been soaked in the water.
Hmm.
So you can't really
Yeah,
grab
we
the
pulled it
creature.
up. So whatever, I mean, wherever the chain pulled it up, the chain would be attached to wherever it came out, right?
right.
So we should be able to see it.
work on this.
It's sort of attached right about here because the chain
Well,
sort of.
Protection from acid, would that work on it? To protect from
on
this
the
water?
No, it would not because it's not acid. It's just poisonous.
Yeah.
It seems like it'd be easier to break a bone than to break iron. But whatever.
Matt might be able to touch it. Isn't he immune to poison?
I don't know. Is he immune to poison? Go for a dip and find out. Keep your armor on.
Yeah, send Matt out swimming out to it in his plate mail.
Flashheart is immune to poison.
Yeah, I think we had a long conversation about that a few weeks ago, and you were all pissed off, Les.
Probably was. So I
So he
mean,
might be
yeah,
able to-
theoretically, Flashheart could wade out to it or swim out to it and cut the chain. Well, I mean, he's gonna have a hard time because he's gonna have to chop through it, and he's not gonna want to use radiance for that. So he would have to borrow an axe or something from somebody.
Don't we have like the ultimate Thor's hammer here to put a smash down on it? after it heats up?
Well, the difference at this point is if you're going to wade out to it because you're immune to poison, you
Mhm.
wouldn't attack the chain, you'd attack the bones. That's what
Oh, right,
Ah,
right, right.
okay.
that's what I get that, that's what I get that Farina was saying. The bones would easily crumble or it would easier break.
More
Easier.
easily.
Yeah, more easily than the chain itself. So at that point, we wouldn't be heating up the chain. You'd just be going out and breaking the bones so that this creature fell off on either side in pieces and
And I
left
can cast Airwalk.
and
I
left the
cast
full
Airwalk
chain.
on whoever that lucky guy is. Then you can just walk right out there as long as he can get it done in 10 minutes.
Yeah. Les,
Oh,
why
I'm
would I
sorry,
not want
what?
to use radiance for that?
Oh, it's
Well, not for the
it's
chain,
your
but for the
holy
bone you
weapon.
could.
Yeah,
I guess
For
you
the
could use it for the
bone.
bones. Yeah.
for the bones. Yeah,
yeah.
you wouldn't want to
Yeah,
use
I
it to hack
agreed.
at
I
a
want to use a
chain.
chain. Yeah, but yeah, then I will do that.
All right.
Well,
So you're gonna.
head out and go ahead.
So Farina's going to cast Airwalk on you. You're going to Airwalk out to the creature. You're going to cut. You're going to basically crack into it along its spinal column, its rib cage, where the chain is thing, and break it off at one place or another. Are you going to stand on it, or
I don't have an
I guess it
air-
doesn't matter. You don't have to because you're airwalking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. I'll stand on the airwalk platform. And
Okay.
I'll remark to myself that this is not even the weirdest thing I've done today.
So so you walk out there. It takes a couple of minutes. You kind of have to hack at it because the bones are pretty big and they're sort of waterlogged and that kind of stuff. But it eventually does break, and the chain splooshes down into the water as the thing breaks in half, and the two halves sort of sink back down. Because remember, the water here is about 25 feet deep. So it's the thing. You can the rest of you on the boat when that happens, you can feel the boat kind of go as the big weight off the front is sort of released, but it's not released enough to sort of like the boat doesn't automatically fall off the sandbar. It's still wedged on the sandbar, but it's just not as badly wedged.
We'll take it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if we're ready, Storm will start.
All right. So
Oh,
you're gonna tie Storm with the chain.
We can do that now, yeah. First, I was going to push the boat, but yeah, we can go ahead and tie her with the chain right now.
Well, do we need to reel the chain up and get it dry first?
Yeah, you probably want to let that dry off. There's a fair amount of residue on it too. So
Because we
from the
don't want
water.
to poison Storm.
Good
Yeah.
point.
I would second that.
Dragon is very important.
Yes.
Shut up!
I'll cast the clean cantrip.
All right. So what do you cast? Clean cantrip.
Yeah, I can clean it. I can clean it off with the
Yeah.
All
clean.
right. You see this like purplish residue come and disappear. The chain looks bright and clean and dry.
Thank you very much. Actually, that was coming from Storm.
All right. Yes.
So
Don't.
are you gonna like attach the chain to her harness or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, you know
But
what?
first,
No.
get the boat off the sandbar.
No, she's just going to grab it.
She's gonna grab it, hold it, and just drag it along like
Because if
that.
something bad happens, yeah, I don't want her yanked down and
Right.
permanently attached to this thing.
So she
How
can
much-
let it go.
How much chain is she gonna reel out when she grabs it to pull it? I mean, is she gonna be like right there, 5 feet away, or is she gonna be like 20 feet away?
Well, to
There's
push
about 80 feet of chain on the from start to finish on the winch.
to push the boat off, like right now, she's just going to crawl over the edge and start pushing the boat off. But when she's flying, she's probably going to be about 30 to 40 feet away. So probably at least half the chain's going to be out,
Okay.
just because she's got to have room to get up in the air a little bit and have her wings make a full motion without getting close to the water.
So this is kind of, I'm going to do a rudimentary drawing of the boat here. Here's the boathouse. Here's the winch. So I'm imagining, so if you like up to here and then Storm would be here
Yeah,
kind of thing. So about 30 feet.
30 feet up. Yeah, if she's 30 feet out in front of the boat, 30 feet up, that means she's got 45 feet of chain
Yeah.
she's got out there.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, no, that works. This is Storm, by the way.
It's a perfect rendition of her.
Yeah,
Thanks.
that's her on a
beautiful.
good day.
That's
a
my
beautiful.
bet.
That's a beautiful dragon.
I was ready.
To which
Was
she
ready
comes
for that
back
one.
quickly to the boat.
Okay,
Otto's
so
running
give me a quick strength check as she's pushing it off the sandbar. So she can push 7,200 pounds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we could all be standing on standby and help push or win.
Yeah.
Well, what you guys would probably do is move to the back of the boat so that, you know,
Oh,
because
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
lifting it off kind of thing and back into the water.
So
my massive 150 pounds is tilting the balance of that boat.
yeah.
You guys almost had it, but it wasn't working until Lothar's 150-pound frame went to the back of the boat. All right, go ahead and roll me a strength check.
Okay.
So Lothar, while they're doing that, while they're prepping that, how far are you going to let Siggy? So did Bardos put invisibility on Siggy?
Well, that's sort of the next question. So
Yeah, sure, I can do that.
I'll ask Bardos if he has one. And how long does it last, or is it improved invisibility where it doesn't go away unless Siggy attacks something?
Improved invisibility only lasts for rounds, whereas regular invisibility lasts for a minute.
For minutes? Okay.
So you want regular.
All right. Well, Bardos would
And
know
it'll
that.
last 12 minutes.
Yeah, Bardos would know
Yeah,
that.
12 minutes.
Okay.
So
Ziggy can move really quickly too, right?
yeah, Siggy, let me look it up real quick. I've got her movement right here.
All right, so 24. Yeah, so it takes a minute, and you can see sort of Storm just sort of like putting the shoulder into it, and you guys are like, we can do it. But finally, yeah, so there's this like sudden surge, and the boat slides off the sandbar and bobs up and down and sort of balances out, and everybody kind of like jumps, and it is floated out into the thing. Now it begins to sort of end around a little bit as the current begins to take it away.
The wrong way.
Yeah, the wrong way. So does I mean, it's got a rudder, it's got a a wheel, which I'm assuming you guys haven't cleaned out anything in there or anything like that yet. You're just worried, but you haven't rested.
No, Lothar should use his cleanse
Now that's Bardos.
cantrip and clean up the cabin.
Bardos.
I mean, I
Crowded
would think
house.
that with the
Bardos.
intelligence levels that we have, through a process of elimination, we would turn the rudder left and go, oh, that doesn't fucking work, and then turn the rudder right. Oh, that fucking works. And I mean, I would think that it wouldn't be pretty, but we could get down the river.
Yeah.
By the third fucking, we have at least one skill in sailing. Fucking work.
That gives you
Fucking
profession
work.
sailor 1.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so the problem is, I mean, do you want to just like the problem is you see the boat is kind of like ending around and towards and it's actually the stern is actually pointing downriver as the current begins to take it. Now there's a couple of things you can do. You can use the wheel to sort of steer things, but if you use the anchor, if you kick the anchor off, it'll actually stop you and sort of pivot around on the anchor. But ultimately the current will take the boat around so that it is facing away from the direction that you want to go.
Well, except for we have a dragon pulling it the other direction.
What? I'm sorry, what was that?
So this isn't a fast moving river.
Not fast moving, but it does have a current.
Well, yes, but with 7,200 pounds of force being exhibited upriver.
True, absolutely. Oh yeah, absolutely. I think no problem. You just have to get Storm attached.
Well, Storm's going to grab it. Storm's going to grab the chain.
Okay.
And when Storm flies in the upriver direction,
Mm-hmm.
that's where we're going to go.
Right.
Now, using the wheel will cause us to can't left, can't right, whatever, or port starboard, what have you. But the fact that we have all of this propulsion going upriver, that's where we're going to go.
Yeah, no problem.
Unless Storm is not powerful enough to overcome the river's current, which doesn't seem to be the case.
No, the current's not. No, Storm will be able to do that.
And by the way, from someone who's in the Navy, by the third fucking, you're a high-level sailor.
You guys are going to be making that because of the skill employed by the third fucking. You guys will be able to double your speed,
Right.
just by skill.
And we'll have extra ranks. It'll all be great.
All right, so you guys get the boat off. You get the boat turned around. Storm grabs the chain, the clean chain, and begins pulling. It's a slow start, but eventually Storm gets going, and you guys begin moving upriver on the boat.
Siggy is going to go. Her fly speed is 80.
80. Okay, so
So she's going to do aerial recon, and we've never discussed this before, but I'm assuming aerial recon can't be done with like 4 times speed because that's balls to the wall flying. But a double,
no.
But a double move, just a normal 160 moving around without doing anything else. Is that something that she can do and then still do the aerial recon portion of her training?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, because
How many coconut shells can she carry?
No, this is not an unladen swallow. So yeah, one of her skills is actually aerial recon.
Okay, so hold on, I got to do some math here. So she will. So a couple of things. One, she will pretty quickly elapse the 100-foot radius, which means she will be out of contact with you, unless you have some other way to keep track of her. Because the dihydrium mine, your estimate based on Nocticula's map is that it's about 8 miles from where you guys are, a little bit.
I'm sorry, am I mistaken? I thought our contact was if we're on the same plane.
Is that true?
I may be mistaken. Don't take my word for it. I just thought as long as we're on the same plane, we share our bond. Now that might not
familiar. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's an animal companion, which is basically the priestly version of a familiar, and you have to burn a feat for it. So
you might be right. Hold on a second.
Yeah, double check that for me, please.
Link.
And if it makes a difference, I'm 12th and she's 8th level.
Yeah, I don't see anything here that says that you. I'm sorry?
So familiars are 1 mile. They've got their range is 1 mile as far as like being able to see through their eyes.
It's 1 mile?
Yeah, that's what I've got too. It's 1 mile.
Yeah, I don't know. That's not an animal companion, but I know familiars have the 1 mile.
No, that's
thing.
higher up.
I don't see any delimiter here. Hold on. Let me
1 mile's what Otto's got too.
Is Otto a familiar or an animal companion?
Companion. Right?
So Otto's an animal companion? I think, yeah, that's right. So, so yeah, I don't know that you'll be able to keep in contact past 1 mile.
Okay.
But if you're, I mean, are you okay with Siggy going? I mean, Siggy's obviously intelligent and can go check things out.
Yeah. So I will make sure that she doesn't go past the mile.
Okay, so she's just going to stay 1 mile ahead of the boat,
right? Or
so that
or
she can relay telemetry to you.
Yeah, and she's going to be doing recon, which with her intelligence allows her, if she sees enemies, she can relay to me basically what she sees, the numbers. She can get the numbers accurate. She might not
300.
necessarily. Yeah, she might not necessarily know what they are, but she can describe them fairly accurately. So she won't know. There's 50 death knights, but she'll know there are 50 shambling things, right? So.
Okay.
You're on mute, cool. Mike. You're on mute.
Thank you. I was like, she'll say whatever, but she'll always say 300 because all birds just, they can't.
Bird brains.
Say 300.
It's either, yeah, birds are like, it's either 0 or 300. Okay, so Siggy is going to be 1 mile out, sort of staying within range, so that it can so that she can continue to relay telemetry to Lothar, who's going to be concentrating on that, just keeping an eye out. Storm is going to be pulling the ship at about 30 feet per round, so pretty good clip as you guys move. And then who's going to be steering, just to make sure that they stay in the center channel, that kind of thing, avoid other sandbars.
Whoever cursed the most, or whoever cursed the best.
Because they'll be the best sailor.
Because, yeah, they're the best sailor.
All right, that's Farina, I think. All right, so Farina's at the wheel.
Yes, Captain
right.
Farina.
Captain Farina. Are you guys going to rename this boat? It doesn't have a name painted on it. You guys, it's wide open. The Flashheart's death.
The unfriendly bitch.
Flashheart's bane.
What was that, Flashheart's bitch?
I said the unfriendly bitch.
Perfect. All right. So you guys are moving upriver, and you actually make a good clip. Now you haven't rested or anything. Are you looking to do that? I don't know what your resource state
Yeah,
is.
we need to rest.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
need to rest at some point. And if it's only going to take us like an hour to get to the end,
Well, it's going to take you probably, at least by what you think based on the map, it's probably going to take you about 3 hours.
then it sounds like we maybe need to beat short and do one of those Sylvan rest things or Sylvan
Yeah.
hideaway deals so we can safely rest.
Go up 2 hours and then stop, rest, and then
Yes.
finish that last hour then tomorrow.
Yeah, something like that where we're fully rested. Because I know some of the other spellcasters are a little low, and I'm a lot low on the higher level stuff.
Plus, we get
Plus, you're going into an unknown situation.
Right.
Yeah.
plus we gotta leave unattended so you can play with the evil magic items, and something bad will happen. Yeah, Les is just waiting for that.
No, I would never wait for that. I'm totally waiting for that.
I do not play with the halberd. It stays in the handy haversack.
Yeah, the Peregrine Toque.
Is that what it's called these days?
All right, so
Yep.
you guys are moving, and you've got about an hour and a half or 2 hours, and you're starting to look around for places to sort of anchor the boat, little sheltered areas that'll keep you out of the eyes of the rocks, that kind of stuff. When Lothar Siggy sees something. She's come to a narrow portion of the river, and across it, you can see. Can you see through her eyes? I think yes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you see through her eyes what looks to be, there's a narrow portion of the river where like a couple like cliffs come in a little bit, some raised ground comes in a little bit and makes a narrow point in the river. And it looks like someone has built essentially a gatehouse, because there's a couple of built platforms, and between them is a closed iron gate that looks like it goes down into the water, right? So you got these platforms coming up out of the water, and then between them is a gate. You can see that there are winches on either side. It looks like some sort of gatehouse that protects whatever is behind it, maybe the mines from something from below the river. There are creatures on them which you recognize as being various kinds of demons, and it looks like they're just sort of lounging around. They're not really doing anything. They're just sort of sitting on this gatehouse. Guards maybe, or gatehouse people, or they're controlling traffic potentially, but you don't see any of the boats. You haven't seen any of their boats on this river, so you're not sure what they're actually guarding. But
how far away are they? Is she at a mile?
Yeah, about a mile from where you guys are right now.
Okay, so I'm going to relay this to everybody else, that there's a gatehouse. They actually have gates blocking the river, and then I'm going to pull her back to try and find us a place to ditch and rest.
Okay.
Because I think we can, if we want to, we can try to get through that gatehouse with Bardos's illusions. But for now, we need to at least ditch and do our rest sort of prior to that. So
sounds good.
So I'll pull her back to see if she can find us a little kind of out of the way hidden place that we can pull off into the sandbar and beach ourselves temporarily. And
there are a couple of places. I don't know that you want to beach, but I mean, certainly you could put down an anchor. There are a couple of sheltered places.
That works.
And that are sort of out of sight from thing on the wrong side of the river from where the rocks are, so you wouldn't necessarily be obvious to them. It looks like a decent enough spot.
And then I'll bring her back to me.
Okay.
And we'll try to hit that spot, I guess.
That spot's about 3/4 of a mile away from the gates. Your guess is that the gates are about a mile from the mine.
Okay.
So you've moved pretty far, but they are closed. Now these gates are sort of like, in the water, right? But water can flow through them.
Right,
so the water's flowing through them. And there's just a couple of towers on either side with the gate rounds that open those doors.
Yeah. Water goes through, boats do not.
Correct.
So the question is whether or not after we rest, we think that Bardos can set up an illusion that would fool the gate guards into opening it for us. Or if we want to just go over land from this point. So, I mean, that's sort of another question.
Wait, we're forgetting the obvious. Kill the gate guards, because that's what we do.
Well, yeah, but how high?
That is sort of your thing.
Yeah. How high are the gates on either side of the river? You said there's sort of a closed-in cliff?
Hard to tell. Yeah, it was sort of closed in. I can just so the river widens a little bit at the base of. There's a couple of cliffs. The cliffs themselves go up about 1,000 feet, so you can see rocks kind of like flying around over the top. There's the gorge through these kind of things is about 70 feet wide, and river sort of comes at you, but it's blocked by a fortified water gate. A pair of massive doors made of rusting metal bars block passage, and anchoring on either sides are heavy 30-foot high barbicans that where they're standing on.
Right. So they're 30 feet up.
30 feet out of the water. Yeah.
Right. Which, I mean, we could get to them if we're going to do the let's kill everything along the way type situation. But for now, anyway, we've got the intel we needed. Siggy's found us a place to sort of anchor up, and we can rest.
Kind of how we become adventurers. Like, oh, fuck, that didn't work, but we'll try.
We'll try it again. It'll totally work this time.
Maybe.
All right, so you guys rest up.
My plan is to just throw Fletcher at them.
You guys need some sort of catapult mounted on this boat.
We need a Fletcher pole.
You need a Fletcher pole.
Followed by a flashlight.
So first,
a double
splash our body. And actually, Storm does have dual saddles, so.
So we have
the Storm.
I mean, it worked before. I mean,
a Fletcher trebuchet.
Yeah.
I mean, you could air cav in. I mean, that it worked. I mean, that's how you got Fletcher and Flashheart to the boat. It was only Fletcher's fault that he got killed right away. That sort of screwed the plan.
Well, he wasn't totally dead.
Not totally dead.
He was only
mostly dead.
Which would not quite be alive.
Look at you who knows so much.
All right, so you guys get a decent night rest. You take some time, clean that that place out. It's really kind of gross, but you do get it kind of cleaned out, and and the doors. Frankly, the boat itself is in pretty good condition. I mean, it's kind of funky. You've had an undead living on it for at least a while, but the doors are have strong locks and handles on them. It's made mostly of metal. The wheel and the rudder seem to be perfectly adequate. The chain on the winch is strong. The winch is well maintained. However long that boat was on the boat may have been beached on that sandbar, but you're not sure if it had been there. It hadn't been there for years. There's not a lot of rust on this boat. Like a lot of things are rusty, but not so much on the boat. It was well maintained.
But the undead did a good job taking care of it, huh?
Undead love boats, and we'll work on them even when they're beached. All right, so you guys get some rest. I guess if you're gonna throw around some heals and that kind of stuff, everybody give me a quick perception check.
Wow, look at me go.
All right. So you guys, you guys, 43, really? 32. Look at all these perception checks that you guys are a little nervous on this river. Everybody's like, keep an eye out. Not much happening on the river. You do see, the rocks seem to get a little bit agitated. You do notice that there are, for all the poison in the river, you hadn't seen any river creatures before, but now sort of as you're upriver and things are a little quieter, every once in a while you see fish, like these weird freaking fish that have these big spikes on them flying around, and stuff like that. And you do see what looks to be
around?
they're not. No, they're swimming
around.
around, obviously. You do see some squids, which are flitting through the river, and they seem to be about 8 feet long, and they have a chameleon-like aspect to them. So they're changing colors. Sometimes they're red, sometimes they're white, and sometimes they're almost invisible in the water. But they seem very aggressive. There's more you do see that there is wildlife out here. There's also wildlife in the
On the shore.
on the shore as well. Now, you do see a couple of creatures. In some cases, you can see eyes glowing in the underbrush. Nothing approaches you guys, and even the creatures in the river. I mean, they're curious about the boat, but when it becomes obvious that there's, that nobody's falling in, they don't try to climb up the boat or anything like that to try and get at you.
Well, that's nice.
Land shark.
Land shark. Who is it?
Candy
After
Graham.
this mission's over, we really should run some river tours up here. It's really beautiful. This summer.
Okay. But yeah, so you guys pass. I'm assuming, how long do you rest? 8 hours? Is it full 8 hours, or did you say there was some Sylvan thing that you guys do?
No, I think a full 8 hours will do.
Yeah.
I need the full 8 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my necromancer had that spell where you could shorten it to 4 hours, but I don't have it.
That's hey, I just have to comment, Matt. That's exactly what the river looks like right there behind Matt. You can see he's on the prow of the boat, standing tall.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
I love riverboat movies. Queen of the, with what is that one with Humphrey Bogart and
the African Queen.
I love that movie.
So the 8 hours passes without thinking. I mean, like I said, you notice that the rocks at some points become agitated. You can see them swooping into the forest, hunting for prey. You see stuff in the river, animals and fish, creatures on the shore. But you guys aren't on the shore, so none of those creatures can get through. None of the water creatures seem at all interested in climbing up to try and get you. And the rocks, you seem to be out of sight of the rocks, so nothing happens during the 8 hours, and you guys are fully rested.
Is Fletcher getting agitated watching all those experience points walk away?
So is there anybody prior to this rest? I guess, is there anybody that's still injured?
I think
I was
Flash is-
injured, but I was still injured a little bit. But I assumed I was going to get healed.
So prior to the rest, I would have used whatever healing was necessary to get you back to full.
Thank you.
Should we stop here or should we continue?
Now we
on?
know what full is.
We got 12 minutes of scenery, world building for left to do.
The scenery is beautiful behind you.
Thank you. I believe this is Montana we're looking at, but right now it's the demonic plane of Montana.
Yes, the demonic plane of Montana. Okay, I just had to send a quick message. All right, so yeah, so you guys get rested. You got up to things. What's your plan?
Oh, that's funny. Oh, sorry.
So
What?
are we going to try to do the pass by with the illusion, or?
I think we should do our usual plan, which is try to pass by with the illusion, and then when it fails, go into full-on killing mode.
That does seem to be our modus operandi.
Normally.
That's good. That's good, Gordon.
I'm tweeting that, by the way.
Just let me do the talking. What could go wrong?
You've got your
Well,
new magic headband.
You could be dead again. That could go wrong.
Yeah, this is my third or fourth time being pretty much dead, so I have a pretty optimistic outlook on life.
I think you're doing pretty good considering your actions. I think you're doing great,
Yeah.
quite well.
Just gotta work on that AC. We'll get it up.
Yeah, the anti-paladin's AC was 29. What's yours?
33.
33?
He-
Okay.
He
Yeah.
critted me with a ridiculous weapon.
He did. He hit you twice and then crit. He got 3 attacks. This guy's badass. This guy got 3 attacks and he critted. And it's a keen weapon, so it crits on a 19 or 20. I rolled a 19 on the last attack, and I still got a pretty good laying waste crit on you. I mean, that was brutal.
He was doing Fletcher damage to me.
Max damage on that was 45 points in a single strike. So that's hard, man.
That's Fletcher damage.
That's
Yeah,
Fletcher damage.
That's
Good
Fletcher
damage.
damage.
All right,
The
so
good news
so
is Fletcher damage.
remind me, what is the illusion? So everybody crowds into the pilot house to stay out of the way of the demons, and then Bardos, you're going to disguise somebody as the anti-paladin and disguise Storm as what?
Well, I was thinking before we get to that, because yeah, we're still gonna use his illusion. When we get close enough, it could actually use a water elemental to get us the rest of the way there.
It's going to poison the shit out of those elementals, man.
What's that?
It's going to
They're
you're going to poison.
elementals.
You're going to poison the crap out of those elementals.
Yeah,
I mean, if you're
elementals
comfortable
don't get-
doing that from an alignment standpoint, I guess it's okay.
Elementals don't get poisoned.
Yeah, they're immune to
I already
poison.
checked it out.
What?
Immune.
So
They're immune to poison?
This is my favorite part of the
we use-
night when Les freaks out.
Yeah. So we use the water elemental, so Storm will be gone. When
Okay.
we get close to the towers,
Why don't
Well,
we
we-
disguise Storm as the paladin? She's about the right size,
Well, he was medium-ish. He was about 7.5 feet tall.
Well, for the illusion, do we actually need to disguise someone, or can the illusion just be there?
or
what
like
I
a
thought
blanket
what we do
illusion.
is I
I
can
think
start
Gordon had a
summoning.
blanket illusion, right?
Once we get to a point, we've got the water elemental holding the boat where it's at, close to this thing. I can start summoning Storm. Takes a minute to do it. As soon as Storm appears, the water elemental disappears. We throw
I see.
anchor, but then
I see.
instantly we have Fletcher and Flashheart jump on her, and she just flies them up to the gatehouse or whatever this thing is.
All
And
right, air
those-
cash.
Those two or those three just kind of lay waste to whatever opposition there would be while Farina's peppering it with arrows.
Well, see, the question for me, and that's not a bad plan. That's sort of our normal plan.
That's what it's going to become once the better plan fails.
Right. But if we have to fight them, do they have the ability to sort of set off an alarm that we can't stop them quick enough for?
I don't
Well,
think we know that until we
your
get there.
guess is that they're about a mile from the mine, downriver from the mine.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they don't have magical means of alerting them to an intrusion. So the question is,
Good point.
are we going to try to make the illusion believable enough that they just let us through, don't raise any alarms, it's just normal business, right?
I think we try that, but also these are demons that we might be coming across, right? They just pop out and teleport wherever they want. So
I love ones too.
unless we anchor them right away, we're gonna have to try to. I think our best chance is to try to bluff our way through to start with. I've got a bluff check. Come on.
Jason.
God will probably got a better bluff check. You don't have to carry
If we're all hidden in the pilot house and the illusion doesn't require anybody to sort of be a party to it, it just
Mhm.
looks like these sailors, those Bodoc or whatever they are, sailors are doing their thing, and there's a vocal or there's an audible part to it. That's the anti-paladin screaming, "Open the gates" or whatever. I mean, yes, there's a chance it's going to fail, but I'm saying if we can bluff our way through that way, are we better off than risking them being able to teleport, one of them being able to teleport away quickly and alerting the media?
Oh,
As far as illusions, could I put an illusion on like Flashheart and have him look like and sound like the anti-paladin?
Sure.
Or could I do that without having anything?
Well, it'll be well. So
Like,
you could
would-
theoretically, if he put on the armor, and well, I mean, I guess he wouldn't necessarily have to hold the glaive, but or the halberd or whatever it was. But you could. I mean, you could try to like disguise him as that, or if somebody had a minor illusion, if somebody else can do a minor illusion that would make him look like that. I think it's possible. Yeah, you wouldn't necessarily have to use a major image to disguise somebody as the anti-paladin.
The question was, would it be better to have like just to create an illusion where this guy looks like he's on the deck and speaking whatever, or would it be better to have somebody actually behind the illusion doing things? I'm not sure how you handle illusions as far as.
I think illusion might be good because then we can adapt to the situation where the other illusion will not adapt, right?
Well, and so far the handling of illusions has been,
They're 100% real until you can interact with them.
yeah, they're 100% real unless you interact with it, and then you get a saving throw, and if you save, then you can say that's not real.
If
So
they're
Right.
just talking to it, they won't be able.
if you have a 100% illusion on the deck of the Bodak sailors doing their thing and the anti-paladin doing his thing without anybody underneath of it, just the illusion, just the major illusion of that, and him barking out, open the gates, until they can interact with it and make a saving throw that it's not real, they're going to believe it's real.
Yep.
According to all of the illusion stuff we've ever dealt with.
Yep. That's true.
And they're not, unless they decide to teleport down to the deck and shake hands, they're not going to interact with it.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Less is crazy. Get illusion rules. Yeah, let's use those.
We're supposed to be anti-paladin, so
I think they're very good illusion rules.
Well, right now I'm thinking they're amazing rules because I think we can get us
Yeah.
through without even.
So I
This is one
think
of those few things that Plan A might actually work.
Bardos's major illusion, since they're probably at their distance 30 feet up in guardhouses, not going to be able to quote unquote interact with it. It's
Well, and my rules have been, you have to touch it. By interact with it, you have to, it has to be, you have to hit it with something or touch it or something like that. Otherwise, yeah.
right. That's why I said, unless one of the demons teleports down to the deck to shake hands with the anti-paladin, they don't get any kind of saving throw against it. His illusion is solid. They think it's real. It's an anti-paladin saying, open the gate, let us through.
Right.
The only sort of or thing to that is if they say, well, where the hell have you been? Or they try to verbally interact with it, then Bardos just has to make some crap up and talk his way through it.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I'm
they don't really
telling
gonna say
you,
it to say he's
Berkeley
not there,
anyhow.
but what he does, how he acts, they get to react to that.
And that's the only reason I thought maybe it'd be better to have flash art, because my bluff is -1. And, flash art's bluff is a little better than that, I think. So,
Well, I think
don't know.
another thing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I don't know that Boros is going to be able to tactically handle if that situation comes up where he needs to talk with people. I don't know that he's going to be able to deal with it with the illusion. But if he can put the illusion on top of Matt, where what he says sounds like the anti-paladin, then maybe he could deal with it more. He could get a bluff roll that's going to have any possibility of succeeding, where Boros would have very little chance of bluffing his way through this.
Here's my question: Does Flashheart speak Abyssal?
Yes, Flashheart does speak Abyssal.
Ooh, all right, that's clutch. Who else speaks Abyssal? Just for education's sake.
Lothar.
Boros.
Yeah,
Bardos
we know
does?
for sure Gatto has never spoken Abyssal because you ask him every week.
Yeah, Lothar.
Farina, do you speak Abyssal? I can't remember.
Yeah, Illendar being from underneath, yeah, he does Abyssal and
Yeah,
Infernal.
I know.
Okay. I don't know. It's a pretty good plan.
I was Abyssal on my mother's side.
half Abyssal on your mother's side.
I'm sorry, I'm typing that. I'm half Abyssal on my mother's side.
Or see, some of us are half Abyssal on our ex-wife's side.
Perfect. All right. So, So you guys begin steaming forward, and you're using water elementals who are miraculously immune to the poison of the river at this point.
Yeah, using Storm until we're around the last bend, sort of speak.
All right. So what do you do with Storm? Is she going to try and squeeze into that pilot house with everybody?
No. I can only do summons or Storm. So as soon as I summon that water elemental,
Oh, Storm goes away.
Storm
Okay,
goes
that's
away.
all right. And you're what size is it?
I can make it up to huge.
Okay. That's what she said. All right, so you summon a huge water elemental. Farina, are you steering the ship from the pilot house? Okay.
She's our sailor.
All right, and so you essentially begin approaching the gatehouse. And let's just go ahead and switch mapperoos.
So she'll be a Bodak, you said?
How much time have I had to practice up till now?
A little bit, several hours.
That's several fucks, so that means I'm a pro, right?
You're now an admiral.
Yeah. Now you're at it.
So Admiral Farina will take us through the
Awesome.
straits.
We're good to go.
Okay, so can you guys see the map?
Yep.
All right, you can
If your
see.
finger is permanently like this from a coffee cup, you're a vice admiral.
All right, so everybody, I'm going to assume everybody is inside the thing except for who? Who is going to pretend to be the dude?
Not me.
I think that would be.
Gato showed his abilities. Are you better than that, or do you want to let Gato do it? He's got a 16 disguise and a 15 bluff.
How do you know
think
that?
If you have a higher bluff than me, please take
Yeah,
it.
so
I'm
I was just ready to
matching
see the
the bluff.
scenery.
Can I aid him in bluff?
Not from inside the pilot house.
I'm going to slow to a respectable speed as if waiting because I have no fear.
Okay, before I go out and do this, I do want to point out, I speak common,
Good. That's handy.
undercommon,
Oh,
and
you
high
don't speak
ground.
Abyssal.
you don't speak
Yeah, you don't
Abyssal?
speak Abyssal, so
I do not
need to-
speak Abyssal.
we need to know what Flash Rod do with that.
Your bench.
I've actually got a 17 bluff.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
Abyssal?
yeah, put Elendar out there.
Yeah,
He speaks
Elendar, you
Abyssal.
go. Of course,
Yeah,
here's the squishy one.
Illendar should go.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Illendar should go.
Remember,
That's a
Down,
great
hold
idea.
his head.
you're an arrogant anti-paladin and you're impatient.
Was that your Hudson imitation there?
It was.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
yeah.
But you
Yeah.
put her in
Illendar
charge.
should go. Why don't you put him in charge? All right, you see approach there, and you see there's several different demons, and they sort of approach and look, and they're sort of like, what is going on here? And you see one of them gesture, and they go over to the things, and this guy here, who you looks like this. He said it doesn't look that angry, but that's just his general thing.
What kind of? Do I know what kind of demon that is?
They are so.
Have we seen those before since we've been here for several weeks?
He's like a heavy metal demon.
Potentially in Illusionera. Give me a knowledge planes, knowledge demons. 29. Yeah, that's something called a pitborn. A pitborn. They're sort of an amalgam of tiefling and just kind of like.
Are they very low end as far as demons go?
No. No, they're not. I mean,
I'm trying to put them. I'm trying
probably mid to high range. I mean, they're not demon princes by any stretch of the imagination, but they're not pushovers either. They're certainly not Bodaks.
So, power level, this paladin wouldn't be too far above them, or would be kind of on par.
Oh, individually, he would definitely be above them. Even collectively. There's probably you see there's like 6 of these guys up on the thing. He would probably need a couple of minutes to kill them all, but eventually he would.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
How far are we from them?
Well, I've got the boat on here, so you guys got to kind of zoom in. You guys are probably a couple hundred feet. I don't know. This is more or less accurate.
I'm going to start screaming. I'm going to start screaming at my crew.
Hold on a second. I'm going
treating them
to.
like total assholes. Like
let me see
I'm
if
a
there's
total
anything.
asshole.
This doesn't make any
I
sense.
feel like demons are total assholes, so that seems appropriate.
Hold on,
That's the only thing I can contribute since I have a 0 bluff.
Making a ton of sense. So I'm going to set this. Okay, hold on a sec. There you go. That's what it looks like. Now you can see a little better.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can see these winch gates. Basically, these things just pull them apart, and you have to kind of. So here's the troubling part. And Farina, you're starting to get a little nervous because you're sort of slowly the water elemental. You slowed down, so you're not moving very fast. But you see that's going to be a tight fit.
That's a tight fit, yeah.
to get through there, and you're worried that the cover may be blown. But you see this guy sort of come up there, and he's like, in Abyssal, he says, "Castaglir, I thought milady released you from her service. What are you doing floating upriver?"
So, do you want my bluff check now?
No, do it. Tell me what you say, and then hit the bluff check. What you respond, and I'm assuming.
Technically, this boat doesn't fit.
So
this boat doesn't fit technically. We're 5 squares wide, and the opening is 4 3/4.
It's a very tight fit. It's not quite 0.5.
So we just need to scrape a coat of paint off the boat and we'll be good.
Yeah, it's like
Okay,
at the
well, I'm gonna
beginning
be
of Galaxy
screaming at my
Quest.
deckhands.
Admiral Farina has this.
Yeah. I was screaming at the deckhands like I'm worried about getting this thing through there and to make
To br-
ready. I'm gonna completely ignore any kind of officials.
To braces you scurvy dogs.
Yeah. So
Trim the mizzen and swab the poop deck.
I'm gonna respond to the effect of, yeah, well, she wants the best, and so I'm back.
The best? I thought you got fired because you lost that load of crystals. My recollection was that milady was quite irritated with you.
Yeah.
Huh.
She knows that wasn't she knows that wasn't my fault. So
All right. Give me your deception check or however you persuasion or whatever you're gonna roll.
That was not a fast talk skill. I could see. This is
No.
skill here.
wow,
There we go.
23
Good.
bluff. All right, hold on. Now I got the. It wasn't. This isn't a walk. Check. I gotta check the thing. All right. This good. Let's keep it to the dice. Hold on a second. Sense motive. Damn.
Oh,
The guy looks at you. He's like, "Well, I must have heard wrong then, Castaglaire. Where's your crew?" And you see him. He waves to the thing, and you can hear the gates beginning to open, and you see them begin to pull apart.
yeah. Say some of them are here. Some of them I didn't appreciate their mistakes.
I didn't know you were so cold with the crew. You'll probably want to restock. There's probably a few slaves in the mine you could put to work. All right, you can pass, Castaglaire. Good to see you back on the team. I'm glad to hear that you didn't that mistake with the load of crystals wasn't to you. I know that milady's vengeance can be quite vituperative. Get those gates open. What are you doing? Castaglaire has to get through. All right, so now you're moving towards the thing. The gates they're already open. They're everybody's sort of stepping over to sort of watch you guys pass. Bardos, I'm assuming you're keeping the illusion going?
He stepped away. So
Well, he's not here, so I guess the illusion's down. I don't know what to say.
concentration's off.
Concentration's gone! All of a sudden, they're like, you're not Castaglaire, you're some sort of drow. No, so I'm assuming that he keeps the concentration going. Here it comes. So, Farina.
Before she has to do this, can I cast a spell?
Sure.
Hidden in the boathouse or in the gatehouse?
Mhm.
Blessing of Fervor.
Blessing of Fervor. All right, like right honor?
Yes. Well,
All right.
It'll hit
That affects all of
It
us.
hits
It'll
everyone.
hit everyone in the pilot house.
Okay.
It is specifically for her.
All right. So she's got to make a sail check to see if she can get through there. All right. So Blessing of Fervor.
She's got a huge water
Wait a
elemental
second.
who is
I don't think that's really fair, Les. Because honestly, I'm depending on my crew, right? So
Yeah, but
don't
you're still
they all
steering the
have to
boat.
make- and then we average it?
and
This is a
plus,
driving
like I
test.
said, I've got a huge water elemental who is very at home in the water,
Yeah.
helping push and guide this thing through as well.
Okay.
Okay.
After we make
You're
it
getting
roll, every
bonuses for
call-
this, right? So you got Blessing of Fervor, which doesn't necessarily directly attack, but it can't be good. You have a bunch of assistants who can maybe aid you.
I'll aid.
Would I get a +2 on?
Well, I thought that spell gave you a +2. But that
I don't
might
know if
not be
that's
the
the
right
right one.
spell.
Gives you a
Yeah,
+2 bonus on attacks and a +2 dodge bonus on
No.
things, and it
No,
can
the-
allow you.
The one I was
to-
looking for gives you a +2
that's-
bonus on skill checks. Is that prayer?
Isn't the blessing
Might
of
be prayer. Hold on a second.
Well, yeah,
it's
not
prayer? Yeah. It's
okay.
prayer.
Well, then I'll do prayer.
Okay.
The idea was to give her a +2 skill check.
Okay.
I-
Yeah, +1 luck bonus on attack rolls. I'm assuming that levels up. You and each of your allies, both prayer, you and each of your allies get a +1 luck bonus on attack rolls, damage rolls, saves, and skill checks.
Yes.
While your foes take a -1.
Yeah, and it's
Okay.
yeah, that's it.
So what am
it's
I
a-
rolling?
It's a +1 luck bonus.
So basically, D20 +1. And so, all right. So +1 for the prayer. Plus, I'm going to give you +2 for the water elemental, sort of keeping you. Ilandar's keeping this guy. He's like, you go straight for Pete's sake.
Right.
That kind of thing. Anybody else have anything that they can do to throw in an extra plus? Now, you can't do aid unless you have profession sailor or something that you could convince
How about if
me
you have,
would be
like-
helpful.
Is it like a reflex, like a dex thing, or?
Like a wind spell.
That's like a skill check of some sort.
Is it a dexterity class or what she's
She's doing
saving?
well. Essentially, what she's doing is a profession sailor skill check, untrained, as best she can. Now she has said fuck a lot on this river trip, so
she's
probably
good.
going to bust +1 for that.
Right.
Hey, wait,
And-
can I put up my wind wall?
Also,
The
if,
wisdom. It's a wisdom
Can I
skill.
put up a wind wall? And like help, use the wind to help guide me for another plus?
Hang on. also, if I can, I'm going to give her touch of good,
Okay, what does that do?
a sacred bonus to skill checks.
Ooh,
That-
all
that
right.
is-
So
That is equal to. You can choose. Hang on a second, because it's half my
But
cleric
don't
level, so
forget
it's
the-
+6.
So you gave her a +6 for that.
Plus 6?
+6.
Is that what you just said? Plus 6?
Is the luck bonus just +1 because of the level of the spell?
The luck bonus is +1. The sacred bonus is +6, so she gets
Okay.
a +7.
And +2
Yes.
from the elemental gets you to +9. The wind
Well,
wall's
there's
not going to
also-
help you. It's just going
What about-
to make things worse, frankly.
There's a -4 from all the side seat drivers helping her steer.
Blah,
Don't go that way,
blah,
no.
blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah,
I'll
blah,
turn this boat right back around and we'll go back to Illusion Era right now.
Gato assassinates the paladin.
All right. Does anybody else have anything else that
But we have to-
they can dump on her?
Not really.
We have to have a 10, right?
Does anybody have what's the wisdom one? Owls.
Yeah,
something?
Owl's wisdom would give her +2.
Yeah, owls.
On
wisdom
skill
will give her-
checks?
It gives
Yeah,
her +2 on wisdom,
Divine
so it's
favor
everything.
Sailor, which is for wisdom.
Oh, wait, I can do guidance. I'm going to do guidance on myself.
There you go. That's +1. Or wait, your level's probably higher.
No, I think actually it's still +1.
It's still +1.
Okay.
Yeah.
+1 guidance. All right. So
that's
that
still enough,
is
10.
And
that's 10.
let's see if
Anybody
she
got
Oh,
gal-
I have
Owl's
to have
wisdom?
11?
Yeah,
let's see if she galaxy quests this thing.
can anybody cast owl's wisdom?
No.
All right. +10. D20 +10. Jennifer, the con is yours.
Dun, 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 dun.
14. That's not great. All right. So the DC on this was 15.
Oh, seriously.
So we only missed
No.
by 1, so she galaxy quested it.
Galaxy Quest it, and you could see it. You could see that. So hold on. Let me do this real quick. I gotta. So
But I'm
I
trying
gotta
to get
do
a
the.
35-foot wide yacht through a 33-foot wide hole.
I know.
So these demons are laughing at you, but one demon seems to be like, "Oh, what's going on?"
I'm gonna
there?"
try to intervene and tell the guy, you said I could find slaves, right? Can they sail? Just to kind of make fun of this and kind of like
Give me a bluff check.
and distract them.
I'm going to start screaming at whoever's closest to me. Like it's all their fault.
Oh, bluff check works. He's like, I knew those Bodax sucked. You're gonna be scraping paint off of that boat for the rest of your days. they're all laughing at you guys, and you could, as you sort of pass through. But you do scrape your way through and move up into the upper portion of the river.
Well done, Lothar. Man.
And
was really
that is
fun.
where we will stop tonight. We're 15 minutes over, but I wanted to get you here. So you begin moving with the water elemental moving you forward upriver, and you are now about a mile away from the Nihydrian mine.
Dun, dun,
Dun,
dun.
dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. All right, this was awesome.
Take care,
Thank you,
guys.
Not at all.
Great
Hey,
night,
Les.
everybody. Great week.
Or Les or Don, do you know what's going on this Friday?
It's Daikon.
You're gone.
Okay, so everyone's gone.
So